Well, another day, another chance, and another shot at watching the Mythic Showdown Season 2. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once again, we would love to welcome you back to the Mythic Showdown Season 2, presented to you by War Drum Games, and this is powered by Vizta Games, that is MOBA Legends 5v5. You know the game, you know the tactics. So this time, we are back again with the day number 2 of the Swiss stage, but before that, let's just do some small introduction. My name is Shinryu. I'm going to be the voice of the game, and I'm joined by my brother Jeff for this matchup between team Untitled versus Zohunt, right? If I'm not mistaken, Jeff?
Yep, definitely. You are correct here. It's Team Untitled versus Team Zohunt. And these teams, Shinryu. What can we say about it? I mean, on the other side, we have Zohunt, who has a jungler named Destimizo. I don't know if he's playing or not, but
No. He's not the jungler anymore. You know, it is who? It's actually Blade. It is actually Blade, the jungler from Seoul Esports. Have a change of lineup, man. Yeah, you need to wake up. You need to wake up, sir.
Yep, okay, my bad on that, my bad. But yes, we have Blade passions wisely and seen a lot of respect coming on towards him as well. So let's see how they play out on this time, because Blade, my oh my, will have to tell him, as well as Zohunt itself, you know, because these teams, they are from the Mythic leaderboards as well as from the Elite leaderboards. And they are not going to be stopping at all. They will be making sure that they will be flexing most intense gameplay that they can ever imagine, and this is going to be the Mythic Showdown Season 2. Slightest mistake, I mean, even though this is a Swiss stage, still going to be, what do we call it, a heavy penalty if you make up any mistakes, right, Shinryu?
Absolutely, you know, just a best of one, meaning that you are not getting a second chance. One shot, one chance. That's about it. And yesterday we saw some amazing matchup. We had 4 games yesterday, and each and every one of them were banger. It was like so back and forth. The good names, the teams that have been, you know, the strong powerhouse, even were almost made yelled, or you know, they were made to kneel in front of some of the new presents. Especially, I'm talking about the game between Elusivity versus Venom. I mean, Elusivity almost lost that game, man. Like just one hit away from the base, the game was that close, and then they were able to turn it around. So, you know, this is like so unpredictable. The entire Swiss stage will be so unpredictable. We have some, you know, Mythic leader teams, then we have Elite leaderboard teams, and then we have some wildcard entries as well. So, it is spicier than ever, man. We could not have asked for a better, you know, Mythic Showdown Season 2, of course, right?
Oh man, I mean, that's true, you know. Even the teams who didn't got the chance to participate, they come back with a wild card and really just obliterating everyone that they are around, you know, because they don't care about who are they up against. They just want to make sure that they get a chance to qualify for the LAN, and Mythic Showdown as well. They are planning for the same thing. They want to be dragged down. They don't want to be left alone in this LAN event, because once you go in the LAN, it's like a dream, especially for a lot of teams, because you don't usually see a lot of teams in the LAN, but a lot of repeated names. So yes, time I hope a lot of teams, I mean, especially from the wildcards, you know, the teams who came in from the wildcard, a lot from you guys to be qualifying for the LAN. Yeah.
You know, about talking about LAN, right? For this matchup, especially Zohunt versus an Untitled. For the side of Untitled, they have the only female player that I've seen so far in the tournament. It's going to be Daki taking up the mid lane, and she has been a phenomenal addition. Even before that, you know, previously I think she used to play in, she used to play from Untitled, if I'm not mistaken, and she has also played in some of the female tournaments, and she has been absolutely one of the strongest players out there. You know, her micro, her macro, and her decision making is at a different level, man. So her addition into a tournament where the boys are all dominating is something that really sparks a lot of debate, because, you know, it questions if these women are also capable of going toe-to-toe against those men in this esports scene. And we are talking about not just any esports scene, we are talking about the Mythic Showdown Season 2. This is one of the biggest platform that you can actually get to showcase your talent. And apart from that, for the side of team Zohunt, I've met them personally in a couple of the LAN tournaments, of course, and they have been, you know, their mindset is on a different level, and they're so humble at the very end of the day. So it's like such a good blend, and these people are like some of the chillest people that I've ever met, especially some of the, you know, new addition that's going to be Elu as well as Blade. They are like super chill, man, and I'm loving the fact that they have joined powerhouse like Zohunt for this game.
I mean, definitely. I mean, I have met Blade as well,
Mhm.
and he is way too chill. I'll be honest. But speaking about chill though, it's not going to be chilly because we can see a Black Dragon instantly for the hands of Team Untitled. And wait, like you talked about, Aki playing in a lot of female tournaments. I'm not wrong. I guess she was playing in Uncrowned Valkyries, right? If I'm not
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mistaken. Oh yeah,
Yeah, she was
definitely.
in Uncrowned Valkyrie. Then she was in Yama Celestial. Then she even joined the Elusivity. Um, I think something Elusivity 7 or something, if I'm not mistaken, the name it was something like that. So she has been there, and really, I think she has been talked about quite often. So she's not somebody you can just undermine in this matchups.
Now speaking about it, she is a part of herself now that we are talking about. But speaking of that, though, we can see the bans as well as the picks coming in. But Zohan, we go for a really matched combo. I'll be saying this is a dangerous grass. I do love the Hilda pick, but combining it with a Kimi, not a perfect combo because really we see Hilda going towards the back lines, just hunting them down, and
Mm.
combining with the Kimi, she will usually be left alone fending for herself, which is not we usually want. But speaking of that, though, it's going to be Untitled who will actually have a really great combo with the Gatokacha as well as the Black Dragon. Make sure that the backlines will not be steadily stable while going on towards the team fight because Black Dragon he can use up that form to go towards the backline. AOG always there to make sure that there will be some scenarios that they won't be able to position themselves well. And in terms of this, they have a Hilda who can actually make sure that the backlines will be defended because she will have to hunt the backlines herself. And backlining hunting, I mean, from the side of Team Untitled, they are making sure that the backliners don't have any chance. Slot just being a cherry on the top.
Absolutely, and so far we didn't talk about the fan so much, but about the picks here, I would say the Hilda is still a flex. You never know if it's going into the roam or actually be used into the EXP lane, right? So against the Black Dragon, I think she can really go toe to toe because given the fact that she can heal a lot quickly with a passive, as well as she has good damage. Even if you build her in the tanky route, still dish out a good amount of damage, meaning that not some hero that you can actually undermine by laning against. And at the same time, it received a new buff with this patch. So again, being relevant in this meta. So a lot of addition for this Hilda, and I think she will slowly but definitely get there into the top picks. But so far, I will not give her the S tier, the tag. I think she's more like the S minus, not S plus tier. Okay, like she's there somewhere there, but not the strongest by far, at least. But then again, you see, like you mentioned, the dive from the side of Team Untitled is just on a different level. They want to completely disrupt the positioning of the backline, especially for Kimmy. It's not going to be too difficult because she can hit and run, right? She's like a hero that can actually kite away really well. So given that, I think it's not going to be too much of a problem, but I feel the Ruby might just suffer because the Ruby has a lot of work to do with the crowd control. She has a very good set, but then again, she lacks range a lot.
That's true. A Ruby, I mean, usually we will see a Ruby on towards the gold lane. And against marksmen like Granger, she usually struggles really heavily. But when it comes towards the crowd control, she has the upper hand in terms of the team fights because of the, what do we call it? First, the enemy's farm and her spellbomb just stacks up a lot higher. In terms of damage, though, she can just stall out the damages. But would rather prefer a marksman when it comes towards having the damages. But right now, Zohan, they still have a Kimi who can make sure that the damage won't be lacking from them. Speaking about that though, if we are coming back towards the bans, we can see Zohan banning out the mages, Lushin and Yves, so that a Team Untitled they won't be just have a lot of troubles. Speaking about that, we see Blade on that YS, even though his higher and he was banned off, they come in, picking up a truck card, though his damage not been touched. His what do you call vision has been nerfed a little bit for the YSS. That makes him just off a little bit, but still, once you get those items, he is a monster of himself. So let's see how Blade utilizes that. And against the Lancelot, though, let's see how it plays off.
To be honest, Jeff, I do not like this YSS in this draft. This is like 3 counters available from the side of Untitled, right? There's a Black Dragon, there is the Garut Kacha as well as the Lancelot. I don't think so. This is a game where you would want to play the YSS because, hey, let's be realistic, right? The YSS does require a lot of farm, a lot of spacing, and a good positioning. And there are 3 heroes that can just completely deny him all of that. And even the Yusong is a direct counter to the YSS, the Yisun Shin. I don't know, like, is Blade really so confident he actually is going for this hero? I'm not really sure about, but again, there is going to be more ground covered by the two picks by the side of Untitled. Will be going for the Farsa as well as the Grandeur, and give that poke damage as well as can finish off those kills really easily. The low HP targets cannot really run too far, given the fact they have so much damage from just one or two items, especially the Farsa, but Arlot coming in now. But unsettled about the draft from Zohunt, but still, if it works, it's going to be work really well. But then again, I feel it's a very high risk and high reward draft that they're going for. But what are your thoughts for this one?
I mean, speaking about it, they have a Arlot to the add up now. I mean, though he has a crowd control of himself, but have a perfect combo that they need to be going on as of now, because Zohunt, they are actually going for a single target type of rather than going for a actual AoE teamfight potential lineup here. Kimi, though she has the damages, she will still require those frontlining in the early game to make sure that she won't get marked up. But the side of Team Zohunt, they don't have that right now. They have a Hilda go towards the back line, as well as having a Ruby on the goal lane. He won't be able to rotate much. So that leaves out Kimi left open for the marking from the side of Team Untitled, knowing that they have a Farsa, have a Gatotkacha Yuzong, as well as a Lancelot. And even if they want to, they can make sure that Granger can position himself well to mark down that Kimi and Arlot. He can actually make sure that he will mark down a lot of heroes with that final slash, but for how often? Because that still leaves out a lot of questions, because the backline hunters will be there. Even if you mark down 5 people with the final slash, it's not going to be enough. But depending on it, I'll have to go with Untitled having a favorable draft on their hands rather than going for the Zohunt, because right now, like I mentioned, once again, I'm telling you that they don't have the team fight potential lineup on their hands right now.
Absolutely, I do agree with you on the fact that yes, the lineup of Zohunt is really good with the crowd control as well as the sustain, but if you see in the grand scale of things, it's not really going to be working really well, given the fact there is a lot of counters available from the side of Untitled that can, really reduce the potential of this draft. But again, it's going to be the execution that's going to matter. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are loving this fact that Mythic Showdown Season 2 is here, and we would love to welcome you into the Land of Dawn for this game number 1 in the day number 2 of the Swiss stage. This is Untitled taking on against Zohunt for the victory for the slot into the 1-0 bracket. Let's see how this game will be spanning out. But again, this is a very important game, right, Jeff? Because either teams, whichever will be winning, will be much closer to actually getting more towards the playoffs, and that's where the team's actually gonna need that early wins, right? The earlier you win, the better for your team, because if you lose out on the earliest stage, it's gonna really hamper your, the strategies that you're actually planning out, because you have to play much more games compared to the other teams, and it's gonna reveal a lot, right? But again, talking about the emblems, do you think anything? Kevin just takes down one person. That's going to be Ilu, and there's one more punishment available. Kevin gets taken down himself. But again, Kimi, not really stopping for you. Will find one more kill. And that's going to be 2 members down from the side of Team Untitled. Really good start from the side of Team Zohunt. But again, talking about the emblems, are we seeing anything really different one?
I mean, speaking about it as of now, they have went in for a really usual emblem that they would actually need to go in for Wilderness. They have it on towards that Hilda as well as the Farsa. Will be giving them quite a bit of movement when it comes towards the jungle area, but as of now, which I'm seeing, they have went in for a really usual emblem on their hands, killing spree on towards the YSS. They have that quantum charge on towards the YZ, which we usually don't see in the rank section, but this is the competitive series after all. They need to make sure that their movements, their their HP bar stays still, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But speaking about emblems though, we are already in the turtle, which will be spawning, and Blade will instantly go in for that. And he does not want to waste any more time, knowing that they have a Lancelot who has a retribution chance with a Thorn Rose. And speaking about it, we can also see the YZ coming in with a Black Dragon form. With the backside, we can see Ilu forcing to be backed off, and Dusty Mizo might be there, but will have the final slash really early on. But with that, we can Blade will knocked down by the YZ. Sure that he will die, but Kevin comes in, making sure Dusty Mizo is the price for disrupting his combo. And with that, you can see the turtle as well as 2 more kills adding up towards the hands of Untitled, with Super Justin having the level 4, the AOG unlocked for him.
Absolutely, the early game is going to be very rough for Blade because they have punishment available from their side. Untitled, they can easily go in and mark him down with the Black Dragon, with the, even the Yuzong. Sorry, not the Yuzong, with actually the Garut Kacha, like you mentioned. Super Justin can easily go in with the AOG and even the Super Use Black Dragon form. So, in a way, it's very difficult for them to actually do so much. But again, Feather Air strike down. The Flicker baited out from Ilu, able to survive still. That's a big resource being baited out. Now, Ilu will be forced to play defensively. And you know what? If they play defensively, there gonna be more time for the side of Team Untitled to actually get the scaling onto their lineup. And if they get scaling, it's gonna be very difficult for them to do too much. Again, up top though, it's gonna be an engage. Final slash being used, bringing back Super U. Does not really have the Black Dragon from anymore. Getting stunned, but cannot escape. Dusty Mizo will get that kill, and the scoreboard stands now 3-3 for both the teams.
Exactly. There was a good attraction pulse coming in from that Kimi, which is going to be really good because for you just came in with Dusty Mizo's final slash, being a cherry on top, making sure that Untitled's Super Yui won't be getting any chance of having the snowball because you, like we all know, will be having those snowballing to be making sure that he will sustain a lot longer in the late game. Because you get the snowballs, you get those items, and the more you get the items, the more your Shy Essence will be stronger because he has that HP based Shy Essence passive as well. But for that, Kevin already coming in, flexing off that Function as well as a Thorn Rose, but Sky Pierce as well as Sky Pierce secured onto his Kit as well as Kevin having that. But before that, top lane, another engage onto his Yui, might be taken down by the Black Dragon. Already popped down. That is good, a heavy resource. Liners will be having a fun time in terms of the turtle battle as of now, but Yui is still there. He does not want to go back, but Zaki will be forced onto us. That flicker as well will be a really heavy cost because she might be marked down as of now, but it's going to be Kevin who will make sure that the turtle will be going onto us. But Yui, another markdown with the feather. That he the turtle and they go in. Markdown. Dusty Mizo comes in the kill as well. The side of Team Zohunt having a much more preferable time and on towards the top lane though.
Ooh, Dusty Mizo is not really stopping anytime soon. He will be able to pick up a double now. With this, Zohunt finally able to win out that entire team fight and also get the advantage back towards their side. And what a good engage, from Dusty Mizo from the turtle fight too. He's not really being shy to actually go in and give those engages because of him, the Blade can easily found that the retribution onto the turtle. But again, the top lane, the tier 1 will be falling now, meaning that the map will be spanning more towards the side of Team Zohan. They can actually have a relaxation when it comes down to the top lane. They can easily go for the ganks. They can cut off the rotation quite easily and making sure the side of Team Untitled actually have to just be on their toes every time they rotate around that area. But at the same time, you can see mid lane though, again, this time Super Justin cannot really get back out. And Dusty Mizo actually is doing absolutely phenomenal. 4 kills on towards him. He's like, let me hold the early game and you all can farm for the later half. So that's what is happening. He's really carrying the team forward so far. You can see because of that lead of the gold or the economy is now onto the side of Team Zohan, and they're able to just keep it steadily up. But I think one team fight, if Zohan loses, gold can shift very easily. And like you mentioned, Daki is the person they want to mark down at this point because she's the main damage dealer in the early game. But again, bot lane, conceal play though. Are they gonna go in here?
I think they can go in because of the Kevin, but final slashes misses. AOG comes in. Flicker coming out of Super Dusty Mizo, that is going to be good, but Daki marked down. Ilu comes, Flicker, make sure Daki dies, and with that, Ilu will be marking down Daki in the most ruthless manner. People ahead while Daki being targeted down, and with that, we can see Zohunt making sure that their backline hunting potential will be coming on top, and side of Team Zohunt already making sure that they have goal lead onto their hands. Super Justin damage taken onto a stop though with Ilu following. I mean, they are the roamers, they need to make it out, but the turtle will be here. For Yui already there. Attraction pulse comes in, catching Super Justin. He comes in with a final slash. Mizo does not stop, but Feather airstrike will make sure that but Super Justin goes in. He dies. Does not stop at all, and with that we can see the side of Team Untitled getting a kill as well as the turtle, just making sure that the goal lead does not expand much now.
Absolutely, what a good initiation coming in from the side of Team Zohan, but Untitled will definitely take the title for winning the team fight, and with this they're able to actually get a good trade-off now. 2 for 1 will be the neutral objective take for both these teams, and they are absolutely loving the fact that they can actually go for a full v5 fight. And the further side of Zohunt, they actually found the code, or they could break the code with taking down Daki, punishing her down, because in the previous two fights, or the first two fights of this game, so almost Daki dishing out the most amount of damage, and the rest of the team just capitalizing on that. But this time around, you can see she's getting marked more often, both by Dusty Mizo as well as Elu. They know if they just take him down, it's going to be difficult. But again, Dusty Mizo might just get the AOG onto his face, getting stunned. The Unbreakable is going to be there, but again, able to dash in and out. And also, Kevin will be there. 4 members available for the goal laner, and they will be able to take down Dusty Mizo. But meanwhile, Team Zohunt will be finding a turret onto the mid lane. The tier 1 will be falling. And this will even give more advantage inside of Team Zohunt in terms of the macro game. But again, they will find, for Untitled, they will be finding a turret downboard. So still an equal trade, but losing the mid lane might be more costly. But again, top lane, no! Daki cannot get back up. This was a 1v again. Yuzong going into QE. Can he find the kill? But no, Traceless being used in a perfect manner and able
Oh man.
another kill. Added up to the pockets of Team Zohunt, and most importantly, going into the hands of Blade.
Oh, they don't want to stop. So we
They
can
don't wanna
already see
stop,
that they don't want to stop.
But I don't think so fighting anymore will be beneficial until they take the lot. Final slash being used up. No, Justin! Super Justin falls. 3 members down. But again, the side of Zohunt, they will get the Lord Prio until and unless Kevin do something really spectacular. All eyes on Kevin here, Jeff.
I mean, yes, Kevin needs to make sure that he gets the retrieve, but this time he can't go in because they have Dusty Mizo as well as Prime on that Arlord and Ruby, which is going to be the most disruption for Kevin's puncture as well as the Phantom Execution, which he needs to get in for. But speaking about it, goal difference already here, we can see Roamers not having that big of a goal lead, but in terms of the goal laners though, we can still see a huge gap in terms of the jungle on towards the goal lane coming in, because 1.4k goal lead. The goal lane, especially when you are the fighter, you do not want to have that happening. But level ranking is still going to be Blade level 14, while Kevin is on level 12, which is going to be giving Blade a really advantage in terms of objective battles. But regardless of that, we can still see Kevin making sure that he does not fall back any longer. He is going in, getting those. Yes, but before that, Kevin marked down with the attraction pulse comes in, but not enough, because it's going to be who will be taunted down will not be getting the chance to engage against that Kevin, as Blade using up the Mountain Shocker already, but the minions already there. Heavy Super Yui comes in, Super Justin as well, but not enough because the second tier will still be falling down. And Dusty Mizo flick and a slash AOG way too shows the killing spree. It might be the death for Super Justin, but Revitalize will drop down, but that's does not have enough damage. And with that, you can see the side of Team Zohunt being a real pothole for Untitled to be falling down, and with that, might be taking down Lord though for some reason. Just sure that he does a 360, but regardless of that, the Holy Shield will be there, making sure. But it's going to be a final slash catch for Justin, making sure that you will be taking down, and before you will take him down. And with we can see the side of Team Zohunt having a really lead on the hands with 6k goal lead.
Absolutely. Now the lead is actually hurting the side of Team Untitled. They cannot really leave out the fact that the side of Team Zohunt can actually punish, and given the fact, even though the YSS have been nerfed, but the jungle capability or jungle clearing speed is still the same, he can farm up really quickly, getting that level 15 lead quite early on. And again, holy defense is being dropped down. Gonna be a problem again. Punish being used. Dusty Mizo will take down Super Yui. That's the Yuzong town. 1 member down, but 4 standing still. The minions are not going to be enough. They need to wait for the Lord. Zohunt, are they going to be really impatient with this one? Are they going to go in with the siege? Because I feel if they just go overextending this one, they can get punished as well. They should be playing the discipline route. They should not really rush this one. Again, talking about the items, you can already see a lot of items, or 4 items, and waiting for the 5th one. But even the side of Team Zohunt, they have almost lead onto their individual roles. That is going to be the mid lane. Quite a bit farmed up, 3 items in. Even the stack's going to be there, right? 4-0 and 5 for 4U. He's going to be hurting. And even for Blade, he has 4 items in. So not too behind when it comes down to the damage. And at this point, I think it's about better initiation. And every time you can see the side of Team Zohunt, they are punishing Super Yui, they're punishing Super Justin, because they are the people who can actually instigate those team fight. They are the people who can actually engage for those team fight. And without proper vision, I don't think so the side of Team Untitled can actually contest for this lot. And yes, without any contention, The Lord will be freely going into the hands of Team Zohunt, and now they have the Lord advantage here, Jeff. I think if they can
Exactly.
sync really well, they can get the inhibitors pretty easily, and maybe the Nexus too.
Yep, that's true. Does see Mizo on that Winter Crown though. I think that he is plotting for something really evil against Untitled. But I mean, if like just the way that we got a glimpse onto us at items, we saw Super Yui does not even have 2 of his items, which leaves him at a really disadvantage. But level ranking though, jungler's level 15 for you, almost level 15 on level 14 mark right now. But like I was talking about items, Super Yui does not have does not even have these 2 of his items, which is going to be leaving him at a really disadvantage because you are the EX laner. You need to make sure that you are greatest initiator as well as the backline hunter if you are one, and that is of course onto a Young, which he is not able to do as of now, which is going to be a really bad thing for the side of Team Untitled because they don't have the perfect initiator on their team right now. And with that, the Lord will be cleared down, but the bot lane inhibitor will be down as well. Oh, with that, the flicker final slash catching for Yui. Oh, but it's not enough. It comes in, Black Dragon onto the backside. See Mizo punished for that with Kevin taking him down, but it's not going to be enough because Super Yui will be down by Blade coming with a mega kill. Goes in for MOBA for you, will be getting the kill on towards that last shot. And with that, we can see Kevin punished as well. But with that, we can see the side of Team Untitled just pushed back even more with all the members from the side of Team Zohunt having a goal lead except for the goal laner. But regardless of that, people down as well as the hopes. But before that is going to be that who will be caught down, and with like it's not going to be enough because Blade will be going in. Justin way too deep in the enemy's not territory, but way too it formation, and he is taken down. And with that, the side of Team Untitled are crumbling apart. Yui just came in and died out of nowhere with Aki taking up a lot of damage, and with that, Nexus taken down as well as the hopes for the side of Team Untitled and the side of Team Zohunt, making sure that they get a 0-1 on the hand.
Yep, and this is gonna be Untitled still not getting their title onto this match. They will be not winning it out. It's still Zohunt, the Mizo powerhouse, winning it out, making their names known for this twist stage, and they will be moving forward to the 1-0 bracket. Man, what a game, you know. I would say both the sides, they tried really well, but Team Zohunt, they had more control in this game. Yes, in the early half, they were, you know, just given that first blood, but despite that, they were able to really recuperate quite well. And talking about the player of the match, let's see who it is, man. It is our beloved Blade. And this is for a good reason, right? He was playing a YSS against 3 counter heroes, but you saw the confidence, right? He still picked it up and he performed so well, just being taken down once for that first turtle take. Apart from that, phenomenal performance coming out from the entire line of Team Zohunt. Dusty Mizo enabling those team fight with the final slash with the flicker, and then the rest of the team completely collapsing onto us that they had Ruby onto us Prime to give those, you know, extra bit of crowd control, and then of course the damage was completely enough. And even if you take a head-to-head for the goal laners, it's still, you know, despite KitKat actually having all his item locked in, he could not do too much. It was more like, you know, the side of Zohunt outscaling the damage in the late game, even to the point that, you know, the feather airstrike were used really early to just clear out the waves, and I feel that was a wasted resource, honestly speaking.
I mean, that's true. Just speaking about it though, in the head-to-head for the junglers, we can see a huge items, but coming on towards the mages, we can actually see Daki was marked down really, but then which left her at a really questionable mark, you know, because she can't rotate properly, she can't get the minions properly as well, which left her at a really disadvantage. But the roamers, I mean, doubted it on towards that Hilda while having Kacha having a favorable mark because he had defenses, he had AOG to have the AO, what do we call it, the huge area control. But regardless of that, he actually made sure that the backliners would be hunted down. On the EX side though, Team Mizo, I will have to give him for his final slashes. Every time there was a team fight, final slashes was just the finisher, just making sure that the sets will be there, and the enemies from the teammates from the side of Team Idol will be marked. Actually have to give it down, but yeah, rich guy, it's going to be Blade, as well as Carry having 46k damage with 53 gold per minute. Sandbag is going to be Super Justin on the Ghatot Kacha, 104 damage taken, with the Wingman having over the 13 assists on his hands. But yes, like you were speaking, these players, I mean, Wingman onto us Hilda, the way he was actually making the backliners even picking regardless of his backliner being left, being marked down, but still he made sure that she won't get marked down. She will make sure that she was not being left. She was being a burden to the team. She made sure that she will put out a lot of pressure on the hands of Untitled, and that she actually did for you. Sure that a lot of decision making was also there from her. I mean, the rotation we saw, she didn't take the easiest route, take the longest route possible, and made sure that she won't get marked down. Even though her frontliners already spread out the path, she did not want to take any risk. So yeah, that is the, what do we call it, a really medalish way that we can say our mages should be playing out.
Yep. And I want to highlight one fact that the members from a set of team Zohunt, they are in with a new line, like with two new players, right? But no point of the game it felt like they were new players. They were like so well fit in the lineup with the rest of the team, right? For both Blade as well as Elu, they played as one, like of the lineup of Team Zohunt, and it was so beautiful to watch. The execution was perfectly placed, and they just played for the win. They did not even overextend. They were not taking unnecessary fights. They were just playing for those objectives, and they got those objectives and cleared the game really easily, really quickly. And props to the rest of the team for helping them enable that, the damage dealers. But at the end of the day, it's still a 1-0 victory. Best of one it is, of course. So it's going to be Team Zohan winning it out. But ladies and gentlemen, this is not the end. There will be 3 more games, and really anticipated games coming up shortly after. So do keep your eyes open. Do keep watching Mythic Showdown Season 2, because this is the ultimate battle for these Indian teams to actually just show what they are made of. And it all starts from the Swiss stage itself. So don't miss any part of the tournament and be part of this amazing journey that we are taking for this an event that's going to happen really soon. So with this, we'll be taking our leave for this one, but do stay tuned as we be back in a jiffy for the rest of the matches.
Bye, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the War Drum Games. That is obviously Mythic Showdown Season 2 is cooking here. And today, it is the Swiss stage, day number 2. And we are having a very hit-up match as we are going deep into the Swiss stage. It is between Team Rntx on one side and another side we have Team Yama Esports. Rntx, well known for their explosive style of gameplay, and they're rolling out to take another crucial win in this tournament so that they will have a good stage in the Swiss. So do the Yama Esports, who are known for their mid to late game exposure. They are way to take their fight on to the Rntx side. And me, your boy STZ, will be there to cast out this game with none other than my favorite co-caster will be there as well. It's none other than Debbie. Hello, Debbie. How are you? And are you excited to see the boys taking on the fight at the Land of Dawn?
Of course. As we know, we are very excited for Rntx and Yama for a long while, because this is a matchup I really wanted to see. Because of course we have known Rntx for a long time ago. IZN, they have had their legacy on for so long with the legendary Mr. H. So it's gonna be an amazing game that we are gonna be seeing. Of course, onto the other side we have Yama, right? They are changing up. They're shuffling their lineup, but I feel like this got to be the best lineup that they have seen so far. I'm not biased or anything, because but yeah, to be honest, they have a good jungler onto the side that they pick up utility nonetheless, and they have been able to play into the utility style rather than the assassin style. So with the change up in the meta, I feel like this might eventually be their starter too. But nevertheless, if we talk about Rntx too, they have shuffled their lineups as well, and now they have a very versatile jungle, if not one of the best into their hands.
Yeah, MOBA Legends and Joseph, of course. Two of them are the beautiful and best jungler from both these sides. This is the thing I'm going to talk about. Joseph is having another kind of play, whereas MOBA Legends is something different as well. So this is the thing. I mean, all those heroes, all those players right now who are going to play it out, they have different styles up there. Like if you're gonna take out Meteor and Dark, they have a different play style in the EXP. If you're gonna talk about Violet and Witch, they have a different play style. So does Joseph and MOBA Legends. It's more like Joseph likes onto that assassin jungler, whereas Raren loves to play those utility types of junglers. And in this current meta, you can't even say that this is the meta for the utility junglers, not for the assassin ones. But no, it's like the mix-up meta going on in the Land of Dawn. So we are not sure what will be the strategy from both these sides, but we are sure about one thing: the drama, the cinema, and the absolute pickup rates we're gonna see at a War Drum Games, because this is Mythic Showdown Season 2, one of the professional league of India you're right now witnessing, guys. And I hope you're all here, and if you're not here, and if your friends are not here yet, let them know that this show is already onto the track, and let them know that they should come here and witness one of the biggest tournament of India, having 4 lakhs cash prize pool plus 2 lakh diamonds prize. It is too high. And not only that, we're having 1 lakh giveaway, diamonds giveaway. Debbie, have you ever heard about this 1 lakh diamonds giveaway?
Of course, I have. I have been there when Ray was announcing, like, yeah, the audience are here. They were deserving of those diamond prices, and he was listing it down. I was there for twice, and I think it can happen this time also. So stick around for that, because we are at the start. It's gonna be happening into the last game. So without further ado, let's hop into the drafting phase. Here we are, Yama Esports going against Rntx. Yama have the first pick, so they are particularly well versed into the blue side rather than the red side. So Rntx, I think they are very versatile into this pick. So let's see the bans though. Lancelot, Elias, Hayabusa completely taken away by Yama Esports. Meanwhile, for Rntx, they removed out the jungles. Look at that, as 3 jungle bans.
3 jungle bans and 3 you can say Raren bans have been done there. And with not only that, they prioritize the combo here for them, that is the CC and the Gatot Kacha, the AOG and curtain call combo, which is so accurate nowadays. And you don't even want to give the Gatot Kacha to a side who already prioritized the Kimi for them. So obviously, beautiful draft already been done by both these sides. But it's more like Violet wants that Kimi to be into his hand because he's kind of comfort with it. But which currently, will he go for the Lunox or for the Chushin? That's the biggest question I have in my mind.
Absolutely true. The thing about this flashy jungles that we were talking about, I would say that Violi is also a flashy mid laner. Meanwhile, for Vitz, he's more of an adjuster, if that's even a word, because he kind of is a player who adjusts for the team, whatever the team gonna go for. So now that they pick up the Xborg and the Grok all together, this is gonna be a winning trial for the mid side. For Rntx though, the Joy is definitely gonna be dragging out them a little bit into the mid phase. CC is still gonna be a flex pick, and now that they directly pick up the Garthot, that's definitely not a flex. It should go into the hands of Mr. Afraid and not Muriel. Muriel is more of a playmaker hero, so what could they remove here? Harriet already gone, so Yama, should they remove out the Yuzong now, or do they want to handle it?
I'm not sure about it. Lapu Lapu, yeah, might be an option here, but banning out the Arlot, that's also a good one. And because you not yet sure that is that CC going into the EXP or into the goal, because sometimes you're gonna maybe want to see that team Rntx EXP laner Meteor might gonna go for that CC into the EXP. But there you go, another ban coming in there from the side of Rntx. I believe it might be onto the goal side. If they want to play a safe game, I believe they should ban out the Lunox here. Lunox might be a problem for the CC. Even Clint as well.
Yeah, Clint. That's a new addition that I didn't think we would go for. But honestly speaking, Rntx could be looking good with the Yuzong, but they're the one banning out the Yuzong instead. So there's a possibility that they do not want to give that hero away and play the CC into the XP lane. But you know what, as it will be very, very, different to say that I don't like a CC into the XP this season, particularly because he cannot really have the priority onto the turtle in comparison to other heroes. But nevertheless, it's a winning hero into the lane. So Lapu Lapu gone again. The amount of XPs that have been removed is completely insane. So that's the CC XP, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a CC XP, and it is Granger onto the goal. This is so good. I mean, if you're gonna see is like a way, I mean, the Gatot Kacha is there, so CC EXP will not be a bad option for them. But as you mentioned, in this meta, having the CC into the EXP is kind of having a little bit backlash as well, because the Alice is open at this point. They can actually go for the Alice pick. So let's see if they can actually go for it or something else. But I mean, this is right now the Xborg into the goal. Is this Xborg goal? Yep.
Okay, it is. Xborg goal. Phobius into the XP later. No, and the Lucas. Okay. Rntx, I feel like they were actually expecting the Lucas now that they ban away 3 of the comfort for Roran, right? And taking away the Joy as well. I don't think he plays it. So it was either the Hanzo, which I don't think will be good here, and the Lucas. So the Lucas was completely open, and they wanted that, but without even thinking about it. We talked about how much of an Vitz is an adjuster for the team, and now he's doing just that. The Valentina to try to go against the Lucas. So I'm kind of digging it. Maybe there's a possibility that they want to drag back the meta just a little bit,
Of course, but it's the thing, like Rarin loves to play with the Lucas, so do Joseph with his Joy. And Joy do have the skin buff right now with that Onyx PH skin. So let's see if the champion skin can make them the champion or victor in this game, or it will be team Yama Esports having MOBA Rarin into their side. One of the flex jungler right now in our Indian community scene. Let's see who will be taking on the throne, who will be taking on the match as well. But the 5-5 set is here, Debbie, and whom do you think will have the upper hand in the early phase of the game and in the mid to late?
Man, all I see is my son there with the Xbox. Jokes aside, a lot of beautiful, if I said beautiful, they might get reached. Handsome peeps that we are seeing right now with a lot of good potential to go into the Land of Dawn here, because I feel like, Yama Esports, they have a better setup because of the presence of the Xborg. He is able to win into the lanes, and most of the time he's more used as a counter rather than a situational pick. But there we go. I think Rntx, they do have a scaling hero onto the side. Aaron onto his main hero, Mike New. That's the Granger he is going back into. So if they are able to scale together in a very, very good pace, they might eventually start to have have that late game into their hands, but Yama Esports, they have a better early game. The first turtle is definitely one of the most important for them because the Lucas this time around, with the little bit of a nerf that he had onto this beast form, he might eventually struggle without having the goal lead. So let's see. The early game is what is going to be, preparing them for the end.
Heavily and Avestizi, so do Toby. I mean, both these sides will place with some two new players with their sides because it's like Yama will be missing, obviously, the Loopsy guys, and here into the gold. It was if I'm not wrong, it was Misery. So now it got changed by Toby and Evely, and from the side of Rntx, which is the, I mean, not pre. Let not say pre or post. It's Rntx, but the squad is not with Respect and Zohunt. So it's more like Alfred and Joseph is the new name adding to that squad. So this game is really going to be a big one for Rntx as well as for Yama Esports, having the lineup change and having the synergy change as well. But having the meta into their side, the Katotkacha CC will have a little bit more effect onto the Yama Esports. So do the Lucas into the side of Yama Esports might gonna take up that off meta thing, but here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Land of Dawn for the game number 2 in the Swiss stage, day number 2 at War Drum Games. Mythic Showdown season 2 it is, and we are right now witnessing one of the biggest game of the Swiss stage, day 2, Rntx versus Yama Esports. Both the teams are ready. Me, STZ, and Debbie will be entertaining you all through the match. Let's see who'll be taking on the Nexus.
Definitely one of the most interesting matches that I have always been looking forward to witness. But onto the mid side, there might be a little bit of a poke coming through from the Kimi. Violi might be able to clear it out because, this is a Grok and a Kimi combination. The clearance is definitely going to be good. But surprising enough, Rntx, Rich, and Afraid are able to catch up to that. That's very, very big for Rntx right now. So the rotation will be nerfed down quite a lot. So already entered the side of the Rntx. So that's going to be definitely a good gain.
Yeah, nice start, you can say. And now the invasion is coming in as well. There is the Lucas, onto the red buff. So do Josephs comes up with the Rhythm of Joy to steal out that lava golem there. But now, oh my goodness, the damage though onto Viole.
Wow.
Viole will be retaliating back, but it was a great poke from the very beginning of the game.
Yeah, definitely a good stun coming through from Joseph, but Wilderness blessing in a lot of agility onto the side of Yama Esports. They want to rotate around faster than normal, and that might eventually be stating the fact that they do have an early game hero onto their side, so this might eventually be helping them to start onto this turtle as early as possible, because like we already mentioned, the first turtle is one of the most important factor for a Lucas to come through. So that has to be the reason why they bought out the agility. And meanwhile for Rntx, they are sticking to the normal tenacities and the tankiness coming through from all of the jungles right now. But hey, look at that, Joseph! What?
Oh, that was an early aggression, but it will be stopped by none other than MOBA Rarin with the blast onto him. Before the turtle, they managed to secure the kill onto Joseph, and now they have a chance to take out the turtle, but Rarin is kind of having that blue buff first, and then will be engaging on the turtle.
That's a good start. A very, very good start for Yama right now. I don't know what Joseph was doing there. There might be a possibility that he wanted to get that little creep so as to have the lead, but Traction Pulse.
Traction Pulse, electrifying bits already been used right now. Unleash the beast comes up, and it will be dark, securing the turtle there in the hand of Joseph, and there will be Absestesia as well, knocking off Witch, and it will be a tech charge coming out there. 2 people caught up in the wave. The burst comes up from the Cyclone. Oh my goodness, it will be the Xbox, and secured the kill onto Mirio. 3 down in the micro, 1 into the turtle, that is the macro. Everything settled from the very beginning of the game for Team Yama Esports.
I'm scared to say now, as this time around Rntx, I feel like, they were able to start out the early game and try to match up with the rotations, but then again, they decided to go and overstay just a little bit. Never mind, look at that.
Okay, Rich comes up this time with the Unleash the Beast with him, but now, oh my goodness, he missed out the pass. He comes up by Alfred though, but he's kind of having a little bit forward, and he needs to go back because they don't have a follow-up from the team, and Rntx is actually in low of the goal, so I don't feel like they will gonna contest some fights here.
That's absolutely true, and the fact that they have a Valentina onto the side, a Valentina with a with levels behind, cannot really do anything. So let's see the ranking here. So okay, he's definitely gonna be out there, not able to reach out the level that Violi already have for Vit. So he got to be careful. He have to maintain his stack on not dying in more than he died already. Once is enough. So Rntx right now, they have to be, I hate to say this, but they have to stay passive. They have to play for the gold laner. They have to play for Aaron now, because into the first few minutes of the game, they were able to catch up aggressively from what Yama Esports were trying to do, but they did lose out to the jungle and losing out the turtle as well. That wasn't the best case scenario, but Toby right now taken very low. If he gets solo kill, I'm definitely gonna be clipping this.
It's like the Xborg will not have the Feraga armor throughout the match because of the Rhapsody thing. And when he will have the immortality, he might go for that 1v1 against Aaron. But for now, he will actually lose out the lane. But here we are, guys. The second neutral objective into the map. Dark goes in with the demonic charge. The infernal pursuit coming in there. Electrifying base will be used up and will be going to the safer zone. But Alfred comes up. Tech charge as well from none other than Ibis DZ. Two-man knockoff level of HP. Ronan goes in. The blast comes up. It will be Dark securing the kill onto Alfred. And AV falls down in the hand of Aaron. He was a little bit inside the tier. And in the way, Ronan goes down. Aaron goes in. Double kill secured onto the Ibis DZ. Again, the creator, the god, is right now channeling out the game for him. Team Rntx back into the track.
Mind you, that is a first build Sky Piercer without the boots onto the hands of Aaron, the creator, and he have 2 kills already, which means 2 stacks onto that Sky Piercer 20. That's what they are looking for, and he is also the number 1 into the gold ranking as well. That is definitely what Rntx were trying to look for. Never mind, look at the Raren.
Okay, Robin once again goes in there, but got a lot of burst from none other than Witch. Emilio being there, he's giving out that rotation is a very nice thing because, you cannot take out Phobius in a 1v1 situation. You actually go for the team fight and gonna help out your team in getting some trades into their hand.
The fact that Rntx are very, very strategic on the way that they are playing, I really love this. But now Abyss TZ might be getting caught here. There might be a little bit of an engage, but now it's gonna be just the turret that they are trying to go for, and they have to disengage right now, going back to what they started mid lane is where they're gonna be. The headquarters is gonna be. So now that the first turret has been removed into the 6th minute of the game by Rntx, nonetheless, we could have thought that it would be by Yama Esports here, but a well played and rotation coming through from Rntx. They are able to find ways, but never mind. Look at that.
Traction Pulse was the first to get the poke into the hand. Alfred goes back there. AOG comes up. 2-man knock up Alfred, but it was a tech shot. My goodness, Viole goes in with a continuous bot. Secure the kill onto Alfred in the meter. MSTV will be taking out Mirio as well. The slain happen. The heaven calls happen as well. But it will be Joseph who goes back there into the back line. Secure the kill onto the top. None other than 1v1 fight will be won by Joseph against MOBA Legends.
Oh my god, man, that was absolutely amazing to say the least. Yama, they were actually looking like they were onto the lead with the fight that they were taking. The Texas was amazing coming from Abyss TZ, but then the follow-up compensation from Joseph was personally, on point, man. That was a 1v1 situation that we are seeing, and Joseph coming out on top. So that is not going to be a loss still for Rntx, but still they have to accumulate a little bit of lead. The turtle is going to be important. The second, the third is definitely one of the factors that might be equalizing onto this as well. EV, on the other hand, he's nowhere near the turtle pit, so Abyss TZ might try to hold it, even reset it down a little bit so that they will be able to contest, because looking at the level so far, they are actually very eligible to go for the contest.
10 seconds to the turtle. This is the broken walls we're talking about, and we might gonna see the reset onto the turtle, and maybe a lot comes in soon, because I don't feel like both these sides are interested onto the turtle, but 8 minutes, 2 seconds right now. Still the third turtle. Baron is going on there. They're actually going for it, but now they're just teaching it out as well. But onto the top side, a fight's going on there. There will be the clearance onto the waves, and they just neglected out the turtle, but a little bit of hits coming in there. It's 8 minutes and 19 seconds, Deviant. Still the turtle, third number, is standing out in the Land of Dawn. Let's see how many more time you're going to see the turtle into the map. Before that, the pokes are coming in. The zone is going good. But there you go. The tech charge comes up. Abyss TZ for the turtle there, my goodness! And it will be the last insanity coming out there as well. AOG being used to go back. Dark goes in with the demonic charge, will be securing the kill out of the page. Slayer of HP, I believe. Mirio will be taken down as well. It will be Violet, of course, slaying him up there. And it will be the Chung down. Double kill by Dark onto Alfred. In the meantime, Aaron the Creator finds his way back into the safer zone, but the micro trade with the macro goes again to the side of Yama Esports, having a goal lead of already 13-07, Debbie.
Wow. I think that was a very good fight that our Rntx didn't have take Yama. They have a good setup for the turtle. They have a grok. They have a dark onto the forwards as well. Aaron right now might be caught in a peculiar position, but he knows better than to try to defend the turret. So another turret down the drain for the side of our Rntx. 2 turrets down. Looking at the build so far, I feel like the anti-heal is definitely gonna be the only factor that's saving our Rntx from getting taken down time and again. But the fact that they still have Aaron the Creator onto this Grander, who is still very healthy, onto the goal as well as the kill, so he might be eventually the only win condition that they have right now. They can play for a 4-1 kind of situation, put Joseph in the position where he can go for the long lanes and give out the other lanes into the hands of Aaron so that he'll be able to stack up. That might be eventually what they will be starting for right now. Onto the mid side though, it's going to be a clumping, they're going to be clumping together for Yama because they are made to stay together in one place. Really having a lot of damage onto the Kimi is also helping them quite a lot, and Toby with the 2 damage not letting the Gatot anywhere near them too. So that might be a start right now. Mirio onto the CC. I don't like him onto the CC moon because this dude in particular plays a lot of setups. He's a playmaker, you know, he doesn't want to go for the disruption. So we'll see how he'll be able to perform because this time around I haven't seen him doing anything.
Should we believe that the playmaker from the side of Yama Esports is none other than Toby, because he is like not going for the fight, he's going for the burst and to take out some help from the side of our Rntx members. And you're gonna see him not engaging from the very beginning. It will be Dark who will be starting up the opening, and then the clear opening will be followed by Abastisi, and then you're gonna see Toby into the action, into the stage, setting up the fire, setting up the hit for the side of Yama Esports and trading out those macro leads for them. But right now they have Rhapsody coming in there, taking out the shield, the armor from the Toby, and we're gonna see the Lord Dance already started with a yo-yo bleeds from Mirio, but it will be reset down by Yama Esports side.
Yeah, you know, the fact that they have a grog is definitely in favor for Yama because of the in all of these objective fights, because he's able to return to the Lord time and again with the walls, and it's a broken wall too, so that might be a good rotation and ways for him to set up the walls there, and the tech charge is definitely always on point for Abastisi. And the fact that it's always Afraid who is going for a disengagement or a reply instead of initiation, that has to be one factor that, you know, Yama have in whole for themselves too. Skypiercer into the hands of Raren, definitely something I don't really see, but you know, he's built different after all. So let's see how he'll be able to stack up, because right now he also got the defense item. He's definitely scared of the Valentina to deal out the damages. So even Joseph right now, but hey, Evie might be taken low.
Okay, playing a little bit safe. Joseph went for the zone there. Violet comes up with the flicker. Will be baited out, but for nothing. I'm not sure why they went for that flicker, but all of the resources, the blast, everything will be used out into this fight. And the Lord is right now 25% HP. Let's see who will be taking it out. It will be Mobarar with the Retribution. Alfred comes in, join the fight with the AOG, but it will not be happening that much. Oh my goodness, tech shot, but this time from Vich. 3-man knockup happens, level of HP. Toby going in there, busting out, but it will be Mobarar securing the kill onto the way. And in the meantime, the God wins in. Dark falls down with the Rhapsody, double kill secured. Can it be a triple for the God? Let's see the Rhapsody still busting in. It will be a triple. The God working, and the God is securing the kills and sending them personally to the heaven side. But it will be Abastisi going in for the poke there. Can it be the Maniac? No, a shutdown happened to Aaron the Creator. No more creation happening there. It will be Team Yama Esports again winning the trade, even though the triples goes into the hand of Creator, but still the Lord, the kills, everything settled for Yama Esports. And now the Lord Rush is going on to the top.
Wow. That was amazingly well done by both of the teams, definitely. But Yama with Lord able to secure it on time. That was definitely one of the factors that made him stay. But Mirio onto the chase.
Okay, another engage coming in, but this time the trap down mechanism will be done so beautifully from the side of Rntx so that they will be securing the kill.
Whoa.
Not only that, Joseph with the rhythm of joy finds a kill on the dark there and will be clearing out the waves and the Lord on the top, even though the second tier falls down, but they managed to defend out the whole mid zone so that the expansion of the mid lane will not gonna happen, and it will be a little bit breathtaking moment for Rntx to think of some strategy to come back into the micro lead or into the settlement of or the micro or the gold.
Definitely, but the Lord is completely useless now. But then again, they were able to get down, but Miro, on the other hand, I think is going in.
Cotton coil, yo-yo blaze, Afrit goes in as well, but the burst is so high from Violet, continuous penetration with the magic, and it was the overextension from Afrit, which will be a pricey one for him to take him down there, 1-for-1. We're gonna say about the trade though.
I know as an XP laner, we have never thought that Miriam might be behind into the level, but nevertheless, it was a very, very weird laning phase for him against the Foes too, so that's definitely not something that we want to focus on. But on the other hand, though, Joy, Joseph with the full build, he might be able to get out the damages done onto the backlines, especially onto Violi, so Violi might need to have at least one item that can help him defense out all the electrifying bits. That's definitely, the Winter Crown might be in favor, might be a favorable choice for his item into the last part, so that can be something that they build out and go for the aggression. On the other hand, though, the mid side is what they want to focus on. But the thing about Rntx is that they have a macro factor into their hands. The Joy is definitely going to be out there and favoring them because the long lanes, the side lanes is definitely going to be into his hands. He'll be clearing it up easily. Meanwhile, the other four can stay together. But for Yama Esports, though, they cannot be in a different zone alone. They have to stay together at one point. The only way that I can see them clearing out the lanes is if Toby is able to go there. He will not be getting killed, but he's going to be very, very slow onto the laning phase as well. I mean, not the laning phase, the clearance onto the minions too. But yeah, he built out the Ice Queen 1, which is going to be a little bit of a slowness that he's going to be having right now with the fire. So Rntx has to be really careful in when they were trying to engage top lane.
Hey, there's the 1v1 going in, but Aaron the Creator join in there with the Sky pierced out there onto Rarin before the Lord spawn, and now it's a chance for Team Rntx to actually contest out the Lord without any fear.
Yep, that was actually a good read coming through from Yama Esports. They know that Rarin was the only possible option that Yama will be sending to clear out to the top lane. And the fact that Joseph already won against him in the 1v1 situation, they kind of needed the Granger to be there too with the kills so that he'll be able to stack up. So it was very, very brilliant of Rntx to do that. Right now, the Lord is already up. Toby with the poke, he might be taken down very low. Okay, look at that.
Okay, the retreat happened there, and it would be easy lot for them, but now the big has been used to goes back in the safer zone. But I was actually in a fear, like I was saying, even though the jungler was not there available for Team Yama Esports, but if you remember, Turtle has been taken down by Dark and Abyss, and they were not having the retribution.
Exactly. That's why it was important to have your retribution on time, and we have known MV Rarin to be the best retribution user too onto his utility nevertheless. But now this was a very, very clean move coming through from Rntx. They take down the turtle, not the turtle, they take down the jungle, which means that they are definitely free to take the Lord. Rarin, he's going in.
Violet as well. It was so hectic for Afrit to actually take out the game there, but now coming in with the backline being disrupted by none other than Abyss. The Rhapsody comes up, Afrit falls down in the hand of the MOBA Rarin. Is with that, we're gonna see that Abyss will be taken out with the immortality being popped up, and it will be the final blow given by Aaron the Creator. And Lord is right now standing at the bot side, and the inhibitor falls down, opening the Nexus for the first time and in this game, and it is Yama Esports side which will be vulnerable this time for the Mapper. Now Joseph goes in with the electrifying bits and will be securing the killing spree on the Violet. Now the tech charge comes in, which it is. Aaron the Creator finds the kill onto Toby. The Faraga armor goes down, shutdown happened onto Joseph as well. A lot of skirmishes, a lot of trace has been shared, but now will be mad, but it will be taken down by the god. The Creator and Dark going in with the demonic charge, but getting a lot of damage by Mirio. The Yo-Yo Blaze working so well, and now it will be the final rush. The Nexus open, and the sea will be flown, and it will be Team Rntx getting that one opening, one chance, and they will clinch onto it to secure the win at the Swiss stage. What a dramatic start, and what a dramatic end. Cinematic pure one from the side of Rntx to secure the win, the Swiss stage of Mythic Showdown Season 2.
I'm actually flabbergasted. Oh my goodness. That was one fight, man. One re-engage. It's not even an initiation. It was started by Yama. But then the re-engagement coming through from Rudis, Afraid. And the follow-up from Miro as well. And of course, we see, onto the backside, there was a chaotic move coming through from the Grok as well. It was, Abyss was trying to... Wait, what? Hello? Why is Blade here? Nevertheless, man, back to the point though, I would say that that was amazingly well done by Rntx. Even though Abyss TG was able to zone the Granger away, zoning around the creator away, he wasn't really needed into the fight because the damage coming through from Miriam was also there. And then when they were able to kill the backlines very fast, Abyss TG was onto the chopping block too. Here we have the player of the match, of course. It's done none other than Aaron onto the Granger, man. This dude, do not give him the Granger, not at all, because no matter what happens into the early game, whether it may be a losing fight or a losing early game, not a snowball also, he is able to make the Granger work. 912 is the KDA, yes.
Bro, this is the thing for Aaron the Creator. Maybe it is IGN, maybe it is Rntx. The team name might be changing, the team he might be changing, but his carry out the game will never gonna change. If his team is in danger, he will show his shine in the last way, in the late game, and he showed it today as well. Taking out the triple, the gameplay was so high, and then in the last moment, it was Mirio, of course, giving out their opening for the side. They take out Dart, and the Nexus was open with a cannon minion inside it, and boom, it's gone. The last moment, and you just take it out. I believe Yama Esports should have not went for the fight. They should have taken out the Lord, halting out the pace of the game, and then could have tried for the Lord, because they were in a good position from the very beginning. They were in the lead, but then after the triple kill, after the Lord slain, it was the equal trade has been done into the gold side. But then the Lord, first they took out Rarin onto the top, then took out the Lord with the retribution, and everything is done. What a dramatic way to take out the game at the Swiss stage. What a start for Rntx. Congratulations, man.
Definitely. I was actually focusing on to the head-to-head for these players as well. But, I find it funny because most of the... Even though they have an Xbox Golina, the amount of tankiness that Toby had in comparison to Aaron is definitely not, comparable, because it's half-half. But yeah, it's a Granger, right? It's a Granger, it's a goal, it's a marksman and a fighter into the goal. This is how, abyssal the meta is. But looking at the rich guy, the carry and the carry for the team, it's definitely going to be Aaron, man. Of course, he got all the money, right?
Debbie, just take a situation like Mirio having the Alice here, and CC would have been into the hand of Aaron. Do you think Rntx could have made their comeback just like they did with the Ranger?
Okay, you want the Alice instead of the CC, right? If that is the situation, it would have been an easier game.
Mirio was having the EXP laner, proper EXP laner, not the CC, and the CC into the hand of Aaron. Yeah. Just what we thought about the first picking.
Oh, if that's the case, then it would be an easier early game for Rntx. It could have been an easier early game. They would be able to win out onto those turtle as well. That must have been the reason why Yama was taking out the Elise also and forcing out the CC to go into the XP side, because they have a 4S onto their hands. And to be honest, both of the teams were perfectly well. There wasn't a mistake. There was a little bit of a miscalculation coming through from the last fight for Yama, but into the early game as well, Rntx weren't able to do that big of a fight because they were losing out to the turtle, right? They were losing out into the fights too. And then definitely they know that if they lose out onto the first turtle or the fights, they have a secondary option, the plan B, which was Aaron the Creator onto the Granger. They were waiting for him. So that when that plan A got flopped because they lost out the turtle and the second one and the first one too, they were solely dependent on getting Aaron the farm and putting Joseph into the long lanes, and they were able to do so. But Yama, though, I feel like it was a very perfect performance for them, don't you think? Because early game also, they were able to get all of those, momentums going on.
Of course, but it is what it is. It doesn't happen though. But what happens suited so well for that side of Rntx. They won their first game and they're right now in a breathtaking moment. But Yama Esports, they need to grind some more and then make their comeback. They played well, they secured the objectives, but it was not their day. So let's see what will be happening in the next time if we're gonna cast out Yama's game. But there will be a chance. This is not the end. But viewers, right now we'll be taking a short break because the third game of the day will be coming in, and it is the game of SAT World Seoul Esports versus Team Eternal Torment. It's like Puni will be playing against his old team, like because Puni has played from medium once. So let's see who will be taking on that match because this is Mythic Showdown Season 2. You're right now watching at War Drum Games. I hope you all subscribe our channel, follow us in our social handles, like the stream, share the stream to your friends, let them know also that we are cooking something at the War Drum Games and the giveaways are on. So be there, have it. And don't forget to stay hydrated and open up your chips packets. We'll be coming back soon with a new set of casters. So be there, guys. Thank you for watching Mythic Showdown Season 2.
Hello and good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to game number 3 of the Mythic Showdown S2 00 Swiss Bracket Day 2. We have seen some thrilling games in game number 1 and 2. Zohunt and UT fighting it out to neck, and in the second game, of course, it was Yama putting up the fight of the decade, possibly against none other than Revenant X Park. Of course, Rntx, with the experience that they have over the years, they did manage to get the comeback into the late game phase, and of course, they won it out and went up to the 1-0 bracket. But we are here with another huge monster into the industry. Back with this monster in this game 3. It is none other than SATUL, Seoul Esports versus Seoul Esports versus Eternal Torment. It's just in my head right now. But this will be me, Sarah, alongside Ray. So Ray, what are your thoughts tonight?
Of course, tonight is quite stacked up already, because the reason I get it, you were about to say Rntx, because of course that was a really highlight match, because we really thought that it almost came down to might be their first defeat and they could have been going to that 0-1 bracket instead. But of course they were able to overcome that hurdle and they were right now back again on that 1-0, keeping their streak, right? So, not keeping exactly, this was their first one. So let's see if another one of the, sponsored teams can do the same thing, or there might be a little bit of an upset, because Eternal Torment is, of course, if their name is any proof, they're here to torment their opponents as much as possible. That too eternally. So let's see if it does become possible. The draft will be starting in a minute. I'm really looking forward to, because of course this will be the debut and the first match that Seoul Esports is going to be playing, basically in the MOBA scene itself.
Definitely, it's their first match as the official main lineup playing
Exactly, yeah.
into the Mythic Showdown. So definitely something huge for all of us, and we are looking forward to it. We saw Rntx and now it's time for SATUL. So who isn't excited and who isn't hyped up? Honestly speaking, the second game, it really felt like a huge upset into the early phase. Who would have even expected Rntx to move to the 0-1? Everyone knows it's Witch, it's Aaron, it's Joseph, it's Rudius. We are definitely gonna move up to the 1-0, but the way Yama played, it was something remarkable, and we'll definitely have to look out for them into the 0-1 bracket. But right now, talking about the teams in front of us, ETR went up against SATUL in a grand finals and upper bracket semis in a previous tournament, where ETR, first time they won a 2-1 in a best of 3, but in the finals, ABM did it. SATUL did a clean sweep, a 4-0. Are they going to be repeating that tonight with a 1-0 and a best of 1?
That is a question, and I think an answer would be pleasing to many, right? Many would love to see the Seoul Esports win, but at the same time, many would, I'm not saying they would love to see them lose. More so, many people will also enjoy the fact that an underdog team is right now rising into the scene, and ETR, having, just like you mentioned, having played recently, could have a good chance at that. But let's see if it will happen or not, because at the moment right now we're just speculating, because as soon as the draft starts right now, we will jump in and we will see what strategies they can bring in, because at the end the draft is a chess game. Because it does not get you the nexus, of course, but it does get you a few pawns ahead. So let's just dive into the draft phase and we will immediately find out what bans are they targeting and what server they will be playing tonight as well. So I think if we're ready, we can go into a draft phase any second right now. Sarah, do you have any expectations, especially from being Seoul, right? It's the fact that they're really well known, isn't it? So any expectations from your end?
Very well known indeed, and honestly, the expectation, in terms of expectations, honestly, it's SATUL. You would just want them to dominate their opponent and win out their matches pretty easily, possibly under the 15-minute mark, because that's what the name SATUL means to all of us. However, Eternal Torment is new, no less. It's got Puni in as their jungler, and Puni has played with the members of Team SA2S. It's like his previous team. So of course, he knows the tricks and strategies, everything that SA2L is capable of. So he will obviously be looking forward to draft for his own team this time in a counteract way.
Absolutely, and look at them right now. Like they're looking all flashy, right? With all, especially, so they're flexing their jerseys, and they rightfully should, right? I mean, getting jerseys is, as an esports team, it's always a dream for every rising team. So it's no surprise that they're really happy and they're flashing it out. And I love their dynamic poses too. But anyways, right now, of course, let's see what they're proceeding with. It looks like the side of Team Eternal Torment, they're going to be moving ahead with a Kalia ban, and on the other side that is going to be Phoveus. So let's see what happens. We're just going to be waiting out here for a while, because I do think the priority bans are kind of like, it is a little bit unpredictable, because it does determine what they can get on their first pick, right, Sarah?
Yep, and the fact that ETR is actually banning out on Apex and JS heroes primarily shows that they do not want to give any kind of advantage to the side of SA2L, because Apex and JS combos, especially in the late game for those pickoffs, like it's a Hayabusa and a Kalia in your face, you're gonna get tsunami slammed right into your own base without having to recall. So that is definitely something that ETR is doing tonight, and it is working out for them, and it usually should work out for them. However, SA2L also, they don't want to step back. They have banned out on the Phoveus early on, possibly looking forward to pick up on the Lancelot as they're one of the early picks. They would even want no issues for their goal lane. Maybe the Harith might come up, and of course, mid lane, it's Asuna. He is pretty unpredictable. He could go in for the Kadita, the Juxin, the Lunox, or even, the Kimi, and definitely all those things just work out.
Absolutely. I loved the fact that you laid out a lot of options for them already. So let's see what do they move forward with it. For now, at least, just like I mentioned, the Jushin is out of the picture. So is the Hayabusa, because I do think they should be respecting that, because of the fact that right now Jade does have, quite a while ago, many people thought that he was limited to the fighters, but right now that limitation does not exist. And because of that, you have to respect that. And if you do not do it, because of course, Hayabusa is one of those heroes that can easily not just flank, because I think wildcard phase already, we've seen elite teams as well as open qualifier teams just show us what this hero is capable of. So because of that, I think that ban is good. Follow it up with a Gatot Kacha. And right now, one last ban before we move into the first pick that will come into the side of ETR. Let's just wait for it.
And we can see the Gatot ban coming in from the side of ETR immediately. So they do not want that roam advantage to be going into the side of SA2L. So obviously, Apex here would have to strategize on what he wants to pick up. And if we can see the current match, it is going to be a broken walls game. So the Grok is high key one of the best options in the roam that can be picked up here. And judging from the fact that ETR went in for a Yu Zhong pick, the Grok is definitely something that Apex would love to pick up. It's either the Grok or the Khalid or the Hilda for him into this game. 100% sure about that. On for the mid lane, can go in for the Kimi, can go in for even the Lunox. That definitely works out. But if you want to prioritize anything, you can simply lock in on the Esmeralda and flex it into gold or EXP anywhere you want.
I think, especially getting to the point, the fact that right now it's a fighter gold lane meta, you can basically pick up a Lapu Lapu or an Esmeralda any second, and then you can just flex it anytime you want, right? So I think because of that, we might see, okay, looks like they're not going to prioritize it just yet. They go with two power picks though. One of them is the Grok, and the other is going to be that Yishin Shin, really strong jungle, as well as the fact that Grok is technically, I would say, I think one of the most broken roamers right now, because his positioning is just like, he can really wreck up your positioning mainly with the wild charge right now, change into tectonic charge, I think. So especially, it is a tectonic charge, considering he can basically literally whip up 5 people in a knock cup. So I think that should be something that they should be concerned about. But anyways, on the other side, I believe this hero, Kimi, is one of those SS tier mid laners. But at the same time, last game we literally saw Team Rntx showing that this hero might not be all the, the fact that she might have a hype, but not every time. So that might be a case. But Hilda is showing up from the side of ETR, Eternal Torment, or ET as well. They like the R sometimes, but they don't like the R. I guess it's up to them. But anyways, with the 3 picks done from the side of ET, their first pick priority is sealed. Right now, they have yet to pick up their gold laner, and having the Yuzhong, going back to the point again, this guy can't be played into the gold lane. It is clear as day, this guy is an EXP, which is going to be limiting their draft. So let's see.
And with the Hilda pick, honestly, coming in from the side of ET, it just
There we go.
opens up a lot of possibilities. Like we said, Esmeralda, flex it into your EXP, flex it into your gold, anywhere you want. She just works out. And she is honestly one of those broken little things which definitely works out, especially because of the sustain she has. And the only way you can burst her down is possibly a carry in the super late game, or a Lunox with a proper AoE stun tank, or whatever you want to say. But on the hands of ET, they have got the Kimi, but then to counter that, SATL has picked up the Ascension. You just drop the Mountain Shocker, you get the 100 Strike, and you can just burst down a Kimi in a few shots. So, of course, and we can see the second banning phase on right now. SATL still need another fighter or a gold laner, whatever they want to pick up. If they do want to pick up on a gold, they could possibly go in for the Nathan. It works amazing with the Grok, the setup, and the entropy at the same time. While ET, if they want to ban out, they could ban out on the Arlot possibly. They need to ban out on the Lapu if they are not going to pick it up themselves. And Puni, of course, his jungle, he does have the Fredrin, the Lancelot, both are open, but instead they decide to ban out on the mid lane. Of course, Lasuna cannot be countered in any other way except if you ban out its heroes.
Absolutely, because I mean, I do get the Lunox, but Farsa's still open, right? He can still go in with something more fancier as well. I would love to see a Kagura, I'm gonna be honest with you, because I know he has pulled it off before and he can do it again, right? So I think I would love to see that, but the fact that they don't have the Kalia actually, because the KK combo works really well with the pickoff. So with a Grok, I'm not really sure. I think you're going to be looking for... I don't think a Valentina is an option, right? They can still go for the Dragon, but... Do you think a Valentina will show up? Do you think it's an option? Or a very wild Vexana?
Very wild Vexana is a better choice than the Valentina, I would say, because the Kagura, like you mentioned, the same way Umbrella can still be a good combo with the Grok. You know, the Tectonic Charge, double knockup, then comes the same way Umbrella, just lock into position and end things once and for all. And that's something that could work out. The Kadita is still an option. Well, I'm just gonna
read them like a
that.
book. This is what you say, reading them like a book, right? That's what happens. She mouthed the words and immediately the Kadita shows up, right? That's when you know Acosta knows a team too well. I'm just kidding. She's just a really good analyst as well. I know Sarah is well known for her play-by-play, but you can see if an analyst is better than this, like what else? But anyways, the Kadita is going to show up, even though this is not exactly a pick-off composition. So it's really interesting that they went in for it. But the other side shows up with a Fredrin and a Granger. They're really emphasizing on the range on the Kimi, as well as the Granger, of course, that I mentioned. But is it going to be enough? Because I do feel like the damage is a bit lacking for now, until Soul Esports right now gives me their EXP or gold laner. Depends on what this Esmeralda is going to be flexed to. But considering how it is, I think they can play a gold laner right now. It's not exactly, what do you think though?
Judging from the fact that they do have the Ascension into their jungle, The Lapu or the Alice. Yeah, Lapu would have been a better choice personally for me, but then again, definitely works out. Alice, something Anti has been practicing recently, so of course he just goes in for it and instantly locks it up. Like against the Kimi and the Granger, it definitely works out. You could go in with the Throne of Ruin and just lock them down in position, while the Yi Shin follows you up and the Grok follows you up with a Flicker and a Tectonic Charge. It's just slam dunk, done. But ET, definitely a very good composition because of the Hilda, I would say, can definitely invade a lot into Yusenshin's jungle and restrict him from, like, farming up as fast as a Fredrin would. But of course, it's a Yusenshin, and Jay, known for being the slippery jungler that he is, he could just go in and around everywhere. He could even steal one of Pony's buffs. You never know, it could happen anytime. But Renascent and Tiger, the two picks I am a bit skeptical about. Both of them are very, very scaling heroes. So what exactly can ET do to delay the game up to that 8-minute, 9-minute mark so that the Kimi and Granger can actually be relevant in a team fight situation?
And then you run into another problem again. Yi Shin has been nerfed recently on his utility, not on his damage. Yi Shin still is one of the strongest late game monsters, and Esmeralda being a sustained queen that doesn't have a Baksha in front of her right now, contending with the fact that Alice is currently also one of the sustained goddesses in the game itself. They're basically in kind of a pickle right now, because if they push in a little bit too late, they're kind of screwed. But at the same time, if they cannot end it early, because their heroes also require that early push. But anyways, with it, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Land of Dawn, and we will jump into this best of one Swiss stage 0-0 brackets. And with it, of course, we have Team Eternal Torment ET versus S8UL Seoul Esports, and myself, I'm Ray. I'm joined by Sarah, who is going to be bringing you that hype. And with it, the match has started. Let's see the action in place.
Land of Dawn it is, guys, and the battle has begun. We did take a look at the initial items, of course, the Fury Hammer coming into play for the Granger right away, while Apex would be moving for the Hybrid Boots, and of course, it's going to be a very standard and slow game, at least towards the early phase, at least until Yusenshin picks up on the Mountain Shocker. But we can see the early Petrify coming in from Asuna as well on mid lane. However, those are just early skirmishes, because being a Kimi, you would want to poke your opponents, and SATL just wants to take advantage of that. And there we go, there's the emblems at the 1 minute mark, as we see, very usual for both of the teams. Anti definitely going in for that Inspire, and Radium also would be looking for those quick rotations. Dark Horse forced to flicker out though, Jaiho with the Mountain Shocker, and of course, there we go, the first blood coming in from the side of SATL.
First blood immediately, and then right now he's looking for a little bit of a 2 right there, but he was not able to get it. But that's a really dangerous position you're in, because I would honestly go back, because so far Apex has been landing those walls, capturing Kimi in a kill zone, and there is no Eve. But Kadita can do the same thing if you're basically between two walls, and Grok is one of them. So I think Tiger have to watch out his positioning at least. But with it, the turtle has spawned in level 4 for Asuna, but so does Hatakai and Tiger reach Anti as well. So you can clearly see the 4 priority, but Radium is a little bit ahead, but Renascent catches up soon. But look at the Black Dragon farm though.
Petrify on the floor, and the Throne of Ruin absolutely bursts them down. Tatakai and Dark Horse would get taken down instantaneously, and the turtle definitely secured in the hands of SATL. Quick 3-0 lead with a 500 goal lead secured, all because of one engage and one misengage coming in from their opponents. The Throne of Ruin completely counted out that Petrify play coming in from Tatakai, no matter how good it was, and that just get SATL the edge, I believe.
Absolutely right, because that was a good one. But Dark Horse, you're gonna be stuck there a little bit, but he will escape it for now at least. But what was that? Retribution? Do they want to go win like this? No, I think they should be going back. But what's happening there, Sarah? Are they trying to fight?
They're trying to brawl, like it's fighter versus fighter, and there's just a Granger trying to fight out a Esmeralda. Like Esmeralda against a Granger, and the Esmeralda is winning. Amazing things being seen, and Renaissance here trying to risk it all for
Whoa.
one cannon minion. He gets taken down. Dark Horse here will get caught out. Has to flicker out of that situation. Another flicker baited out. Puni's jungle here though in jeopardy. Very big jeopardy because Jay is here to secure it. He has the retribution for himself. And of course, Grok is there to displace Fredrin whenever he needs. But Tiger though, what? Oh, he's
Whoa,
in a bit of
whoa,
danger.
whoa.
Oh, flicker. Throne of Ruin comes in once more. Petrify and the dog cup under of waves. And he goes down. Black Dragon won't be enough to save anybody. But Radiant
Totan.
though also is trying to sustain. It's an Esmeralda. He makes it out alive.
So far, it's 0-5 score, and SATUL Soul Esports is able to do it again and again with the early lead. I'm really curious to see if they can make the score 0-8, you know, for their name. But I think that's going to be a while because, of course, I do think ET right now should be trying to play a little bit back end. But so far, though, they have been brawling it out, which is not a good decision. Because if you try to do that, you get stuck in places that you don't want to be in. But anyways, the turtle is going to be spawning, and this is going to be the second one. Throne of Ruin is not ready yet, so Anti has to play it a little bit aggressive. But look at the turtle fight.
Puni will get the retribution this time, but decent enough though. Jay didn't really contest it, and the Appraisal's Wrath was
Anti.
enough for Tiger to find Anti into the fight. Dark Horse once more caught in the middle of people while Rough Waves being used on Tiger. The basic act will secure the kill. Another guy trying to look for more. Asuna does have the passive, will not make it out alive of that team fight. He gets taken down. Puni trying to find something onto Apex as well as Radiant. Dark Horse though has to run. Double kill for Tatakai onto Apex right away. Radium and Jay being the only survivors of that team fight.
That was quite a little bit of a back end, but I did mention the fact that Anti did not have the Throne of Ruin. But let's take a look at the items and the level ranking. Puni is quite ahead. Even Tatake right now after the kill onto Apex has surpassed J-Ho slightly in terms of EXP amount. Top lane, there's a little bit of contention items wise, but oh, look at that, Sarah. Bonk comes in.
Oh, there's the Appraisal's Wrath once more and the Modern Chakra as well, but he'll have it the backup onto Jay. We'll find the kill onto him. Dark Horse with the double kill onto Raid as well. Apex might just be the third one coming in of there, but Asuna, the Petrify play with the Rough Waves definitely secures that kill onto Tiger.
That was kind of unexpected because I did think that Tiger was gonna help at least Hilda get the kill or maybe secure it, but looks like the tides have shifted back again. But look at the goal ranking. Renosen, surprisingly, despite his, I would say, you know, kind of a choke on the top lane, dying for a minion. I guess that minion was not a petty change. It was valuable because somehow he's still ahead, maintaining that goal lead. I guess that makes sense because one is a marksman, really specializing on wave clear, while on the other side, Radium, he's really going in for. But look at that. That is kind of an iffy position, Dark Horse.
Gets taken down, and the rest of the team definitely wants to.
Throne?
The Throne of Ruin once more will find Tiger by double ult onto him with a tectonic charge. Will find the kill. Double for Jay right there. Puni makes it out alive, but Requiem is here to bring
Black
the Rad
Dragon.
control. There's a 5-man rotation on the mid lane. Black Dragon being used up to zone away the minions as much as possible, but this would just mean that the turtle would be given away for free to the side of SATUL. Antidote. Back line, but the Petrify play onto Jay made it out alive easily, but the bonk doesn't work out for Puni. He gets taken down. Radium getting melted a bit, and Asuna still has the rough phase onto him. Would be looking for some kind of an engagement. No, both teams just disengage after securing the turtle.
Okay, so far though, their first items have already been secured. Apex went in for the Radiant armor just to make sure that Tiger doesn't get the upper hand in any of the team fights. But yep, let's take a look at the item builds right now. Skypriest is secured for Renaissance, but he doesn't have a single kill, so that item is kind of wasted in right now. Cursed Helmet for Anti will provide him a little bit of that hybrid defense, lowering with the Yishinshin securing almost the Endless Battle, gonna be providing him a bit more sustain, a bit more damage. But so what's happening on the mid lane? They're still brawling it out as much as possible, but that is an interesting item choice. Sky Garden Helmet first for Puni, I guess he really doesn't want the Kadita to cross that 500 damage threshold on him at least. So that is, I guess, still a good contender. But look at that, Rich Boy still Renaissance. But bottom lane, NT looking for a window right there. Might go for Throne of Ruin, Black Dragon.
And they are looking for the engage, but the traction pulse stops anti. Won't be enough though. Will find Vincent to the back line. Has to flicker out of the situation. Rough waves a double knock up. Will find the damage onto two of them. Gets the kills. Dark Horse in danger. Will be getting marched down by Asuna once more. Will find the double onto him, but this time around Radium with the falling star moon finds the kill onto Renaissance, and Tiger Vibe will get caught out with the wall.
Ooh.
Gets taken down. Wipe out into the hands of SHUL.
A little bit of unexpected. It really feel like they could go for, at least a 1 or 2 4 trades, but it was a full-on wipeout with none onto the table of Seoul Esports. So right now, ET, despite trying to go for that neck-to-neck competition, right now they're down to their feet and they have to make that comeback, because right now the Lord's gonna be popping in. They don't have the macro that they really, really wanted. Dominance Ice had not been prioritized, which is kind of surprising. I noticed it right now that Dominance Ice only showed up at 9 minutes of the mark onto the hands of Dark Horse. That's the thing, I mentioned it that Puni did not go for any of the armor. He straight up went in for a Sky Guardian, but that's a dead. Look at that, Darkest Horse, not Dark Horse, a Black Dragon popping in. Do they want to go? Oh my god!
Tectonic charge lands onto 2. Another Throne of Ruin onto 3 into the backline. Renaissance gets taken down. Radium chasing
Puni.
down Puni as far as possible, but Tiger Vi here.
Tigers,
is it gonna be enough to save him? Nope. The Lord damage as well as Anti will mark him down. They get taken down. 3 people down. Another falling star moon into the base. Puni and Dark Horse trying to mark down an Esmeralda without any advantage. They cannot melt her down no matter what they do, and this should be a very free and easy Lord secure with the side of SA2L.
Absolutely right, because look at the damage dealt comparison right now. Yishin, Shin and Esmeralda alone have been dishing out more damage than the Granger combined. Lord secured for J-Ho, and J-Ho is close to a level 14. Yep, he is level 14 at this point. Gonna be going for the level 15 pretty soon, but look at the traction pulse. Bottom lane!
Okay, another Throne of Ruin. Anti with those constant engages into the backline, goes in, comes out alive, marks down the perfect members, but this time the Appraisal's Wrath will find Apex. Tatakai is securing the kill. Falling Star Moon onto them though, but will back off safely. Just get it, gonna take down the tier 2 turrets on either of the lanes.
With it, back to back again, SA2L Seoul Esports keeps on winning those team fights, and each team fight converts into an objective, the objective being the Lord advantage on the top lane, and right now they're even going for every macro possible. The bottom lane does not have the inner turret either, only the inhibitor, and with it, we will most likely see them. Okay, look at that, J-Ho just reached the max level, and the rest of the members, they still have to contend. Hilda is only on the 2nd item. She is so behind. But look at the Alice, 2 items done, 3, going for a recipe as well. Lord popping in on the top, but it does have the shield. They will be okay, but so now look at that, glowing 1 and 2 penetration. It is too much damage, too much penetration for the side to handle, but Throne of Ruin!
Another one into the back. Tectonic charge will be catching them, but Asuna Petrify instant burst down onto Tiger. They want to go in for more though. Petrify play coming in from Tatakai, but it's not going to take down anybody. Radium with the falling star under the inhibitor. He's going to make it out alive this time around. A little bit of a taunt with that emoji right there, the thumbs up sticker. It always gets you nerves. And there we go. Anti once more trying to look for an engage. Inhibitor turret in danger here. Dark Horse trying to look for something, but he's a solo tank. Can he go in? He cannot. And SA2L do not find the inhibitor, but definitely manage to keep up their lead. But there's a strong wave coming down mid lane as well. Tatakai getting absolutely molested with the damage coming in from the side of Yisenchin. And SA2L will decide to back off for now. But okay, Anti, bit of danger. Ignores the kill. He actually manages to find Anti despite everything. But Radium here, way too much sustain coming in from his side. Black Dragon try to go in for Jay. He's trying to mark him down, but Jay too slippery, makes it back alive. Rough waves being used up while Anti still marking them down. Mount Shocker misses Stranger, but Jay will try to find more. But the tectonic charge, Apex with the play, will find Renaissance. Puni caught out alive in the middle of 3 people, will easily get bursted down.
And right now, the fact that they are... I mean, I do want to compliment the fact that ET, our internal tournament, have been trying to make the comeback possible, but Apex just does not give them the window, and I think that was one of the mistakes. Giving out the Grok to him is kind of proving a very big consequence, but look at that. Tiger had to retreat out, but the one that becomes the scapegoat, it's the dragon. But okay, let's see. They do have minions, do they? But oh, look at that!
Another rough waves play inside the base. Renaissance and Tiger, the only ones living. Renaissance has to
Flicker play.
back to base, but can he make it alive? Anti still clearing out the minions. Radium taking a bit of a damage from the base turret, but they are gonna try and back off. Kimi trying to deal some damage, but Anti is practically just surviving everything. Kimi's hits are nothing but a tickle to him. 7-27, 10k goal lead in the scoreboard. Another easy and free lord for the side of SA2L.
And J-Ho right now just got his full build, and Radium is also level 15. Granger's trying to catch up. Building that 5th item does have good enough penetration, but is it going to be enough to make those defenses that they really want? Etina does get Sigot for the Yuzhong, but it's not going to be enough, because look at the damage taken. Dark Horse is highest because of the fact that they are behind by Throne of Ruin, popping in on the bot.
Another one comes in, but Venison will be the one securing the kill onto Anti. But Jay immediately, the legendary, ended up killed back into the back line. He was trying to go in for more, though. Radium disowning everyone. Tatakai will make it out alive this time. Jay makes it out alive too. Dark Horse overly aggressive with those plays and trying to mark down Jay, but Radium here is just gonna stand on their face and soak up every single bit of damage possible. He has to tank it in. He has to tank it in. Mountain Shocker comes in. Tatakai gonna be melted down low. The passive triggers is gonna make it out alive. Dark Horse this time around got out very low. But the minions, the perfect synced lanes, trying to end this game right here and now. But ET is holding it in. Crux missed this. But another successful defense from the side of ET.
I'm gonna be honest with you, ET, somehow that defense looked close to impossible, but they make it work. They make it work again, but I'm not really sure how long they can defend this. Maybe they pass this time, but that Lord costed them all of their inhibitors. All of their lanes have been exposed. Super minions are going to be showing up, popping in, but at the same time, level 15s are showing up as well. Look at them. They look like they do want to fight at the same time. They want to go for a little bit of brawl. Minions are catching up right now. Do they go in for any form of strategy? Do they just stop the minions here? That is going to be a question for them right now, but look at that. Is that a Petrify combo? No, it is not. Grok!
But it is Anti into the back line, finding the Throne of Ruin again, forcing Renaissance and Tiger into the base. Tatakai gets taken out, so there's Dark Horse, there's no front line left except for Puni. He's trying to get the 3-man taunt in. Rough Waves still not available for Asuna here, though. He can try and mark down Tiger by Tiger. Oh, but Anti with the flicker play into the back line. Tiger and Renaissance forced back into the base by Esmeralda. They are gonna get chunked down, and so is their base. SA2L take away a well-deserved victory.
A really well thought out defense that they kept on trying to do. It did feel like very brawly, but they kept on trying to defend it again and again and again. But ultimately, when you don't have any of the inhibitors to pull off a defense, it all boils down to the fact that how long can you manage the waves. And at the end, it just clearly showed the waves were too strong, the damage was too much. Apex on the Grok is one of his signatures, so I was kind of surprised. I was mentioning it that why was he left out alone? But anyways, it's gonna be the player of the match. The MVP goes into the hands of J-Ho. And with it, of course, the itemization I was about to mention, but how can I mention when the fact that they were really keen on ending the game? But I love his KDA. It's 12-1-12. Sadly, it's not the date, but hey, that's the KDA. But with it, that's the scoreboard 9-32. You can clearly see that the fact that the Kimi only gets the Holy Crystal towards the end minutes, and it's not enough. On the other side, they were already quite ahead. And here's the emblem setup, so you can clearly see Turtles were lost out, but SA2L makes it up with, of course, the macro side. Not objectives, but macro. But there we go. SA2L Esports and Untitled Tournament head-to-head. Renaissance versus, of course, the Esmeralda. You can clearly see the massive difference right here. KDA wise, Puni tried, but the Fredrin is not enough. Jeho is so ahead, almost 6,000. Not 6,000. How much is that? Oh yeah, that is 6,000. What am I saying? But anyways, kill wise, KDA wise, it was massive. But yeah, it is mostly the player head-to-head showing the difference in EXP, in KD8, and damage team fight participation here, Sarah.
Of course, like it's Asuna and he's gonna be stuck to Apex every step of the way. It's Grok and Kadita. You don't just see Grok, you're gonna see a Grok and a Kadita side by side. Fish and her rock, always together. And honestly, the only fact that I felt a bit sketchy was the fact that Pony decided to go in for the support emblem. I think that's the reason why he was getting melted so much in the early game, and Yusunchin got that advantage. And of course, every single fight, Granger and Kimmy were pushed so far behind, like they couldn't even come and deal the damage, except for when Radium or Anti went in themselves too deep. So of course, Radium with the sandbag right there, and of course there with the rich guy and the carry. Always, it's just either of these two getting the rich guy tag. So definitely good for them there. And the wingman, Apex 21 assists without the encourage roam. So that is definitely something we have to give him the credit for. And other than that, SATUL, definitely amazing execution from their side. ETR, good try, good draft. They did manage to get a lot of leverage into the game, especially in towards the early wave. They did have the Fredrin power spike after the Guardian helmet, but after that, things just kind of fell apart, especially because Asuna marked down Kimmy way too hard and she just didn't have any space to deal damage.
Yeah, I think that is obviously. I love the fact that you broke it down. And if you're one of those viewers, make sure if you didn't understand, just recap a little bit. But anyways, that is basically what happened. I do think giving out a few 2 power picks was one of the disadvantages that they already had. And at the same time, I do think there needs to be a little bit more strategy inside their engages, because if you're gonna be fighting Seoul Esports, because of course, I mean, at least the members, right, you already know them. They have been into the scene for a year now, I mean for longer, but into the esports scene, right? You have to study with them a little bit more and find those strategies if you want to go through instead of the raw brawl. But with it, at least right now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the ones who tuned in for this game. But don't go anywhere. The next match is going to be between Crux Requiem, right? Yeah, Crux Requiem versus Noctura. So if you're one of those fans and if you're one of the supporters, make sure you stay tuned for the last match of the evening. And with it, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking a short little break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Mythic Showdown Season 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to, of course, the Mythic Showdown Season 2 presented by War Drum Games. We just had a match between SATUL Soul Esports versus Eternal Torment, where Soul was able to get into that 1-0 brackets. And right now, we're going to be going into the last match. Just like I mentioned previously, it's going to be between Team Noctura versus Crux Requiem. Both of these teams are kind of strangers right now into the MOBA scene, right? Because a lot of the people, they have not been able to, been familiar with them yet, right? They know the players, but they're not familiar with the composition. So let's just go in, and of course we will see the draft coming in pretty soon, and with it we will see what they bring to the table. Myself again, I am back again. It's myself, Ray. With me is a lady, but not Sarah. It's gonna be Debbie herself. So Debbie, of course, finally we're getting tonight. Looks like I'm getting all my duos back. So welcome back, Debbie.
True. It's good to be back here again, Ray. But the thing is, I'm more excited about the two teams today because Noctura, they have been rebranding, so that's definitely one of the things that we have to focus on as well. But CRQ as well, they have teams up into their lineup too. And I think they are also the one with the most substitutes. So I think we'll be seeing not their main lineup into the goal. So I'm pretty excited. But to be honest, they are the two teams that I actually looked forward to seeing, because this will be the first time that we'll be witnessing in Mythic Showdown with their new line. And of course, I feel like the IZNs will be similar, the players will be similar too, but we'll never know how we'll be getting them. So we'll see. The draft is definitely one thing that I'm looking forward to as an analyst.
Debbie finally getting to do the analysis that she really wants to do it. So bless you, Debbie.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah, the pleasure is all mine. So with it, the draft's going to be starting in 2 minutes. So, and once the game starts, we will of course see their lineup. I mean, I know the lineup already, but we have given the roster updates already, and if you don't know the roster, that is your mistake because you're not following War Drum Games on Instagram. So make sure you do that as well. So, how can you not do that? Because we update everything regarding our tournament. So if you want to stay up to date with Mythic Showdown Season 2, make sure you follow War Drum Games. If not, you can also follow MOBA 5v5 Esports, because that's where most esports news will be. But with it, in just a minute, we will dive into the draft again. I'm not going to say the roster yet because that's your mistake. You should be following us. But anyways, with it, Debbie, I think you know the lineup at least. So without revealing their name, any pick that you're looking forward to. Last game we did see a Yu Zhong, like you mentioned earlier to me, but it did not come to that much of fruition, because against a dragon, a vampire, a bat is much better, which is of course the Alice.
Absolutely true. Talking about the Alice, I feel like Alice can come through, but I would say both of the XPs that we have today for this game is gonna be well versed onto the Alice. One in particular has been finding a lot of comebacks, a lot of setups, and a lot of advantages, benefits onto the Alice too. And I think he has to be the one who used Alice the most in this tournament so far. So at least one of the options here, but that's also what the downfall, the disadvantage is. It can be banned away, man. Come on. So that was I'm expecting at least 100% either ban or pick.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about the Alice, right? She can get banned out, but there's sometimes when I do see some people do not like to prioritize the Alice, because I'm not sure. They like to go for something else entirely. So let's just wait, I'm really looking forward to if one of these teams will prioritize or at least ban it out. But at the same time, getting into the bans, we just saw how wrecking and how disgustingly overpowering flicker tectonic charge can be from a Grok, especially considering after the revamp he can knock up to 5 people due to how huge the area of effect it is. So I think that is something they will have to consider. But with it, the draft is going to be starting in right now, and there we go. Draft pick is going to be coming in, and there we go with it. Noctura and CRQ. Oh, looks like the names have been swapped a little bit, but it's all okay. But for now, at least, let's see how the bans and everything goes, right? But anyways, let's just wait out a while. Wait 1 second. Okay, yeah, the photos have been swapped, I think. Yeah, the photos have been swapped, but it's okay. It's all right. At least we can still see the photos, right? It's good that we can get to see them, all their handsome faces and everything. But with it, let's just okay. Look at that. Alice immediately gets banned out.
Alice. Wow. I feel like it's gonna be Nocturna who ban out the Elise. This is what I was talking about. 27 onto the Elise. As always, find a perfect multi for the opponent, so you got to remove that. And you also talked about the Grog, so yeah, that's definitely on point. And the Grog is also gone. For now, though, CRQ, they have the first pick,
Yeah, it's
so
fixed.
a very understandable. Look at the bans, man. Belshia and the Fredrin got to go. Because honestly speaking, Lomsanga, he can't play the utility. You can hit me all you want, but it's got to be the Vex, man, because he's more well versed onto the assassins. It can rather be the Hayabusa, the Lancelots, or the Fannies. Fanny on top, but not the utility now. So for Shiramun, though, it's the opposite. He loved playing the Hayabusa, but he also loved playing the utility more. So I think CRQ is good getting down that route.
You know, it's interesting to me. This is going to be the expanding river map. And it's okay. Immediately, Lomsanga is going to be picking up that Lancelot for himself. Well, to be fair, if your name starts with an L and you're not picking the L hero, not in the sense that it's an L, it's a W
You're
hero.
gonna be an
But,
L, you're gonna...
you know, yeah. Don't, yeah. Anyways,
Okay.
yeah. At least he gets the Lancelot. One of the SS tier junglers right now might even make it a triple S. So I think it's a good option. But on the other side, you still have Noctura. They have yet to pick up their heroes as well. Just like I mentioned, CRQ going for a lot of beefy options leaves out the assassins. The Hayabusa are still left into the table, and so is who else? Joy's still open. You can still go in for that as well. So I do think we're in for an assassin versus assassin treat, unless Serarmon decides it's a fighter night. And thank you, Noctura, you're going to be automatically winning this game. I'm just joking about it, guys, because picking up a Zushin, always will make my heart very happy. I look pink because I love pink, and that pink is obviously the Zushin's tint, Tint. Yeah.
Okay, tint.
Yeah, tint.
Alright. I mean, you're not wrong either way, Ray, because Jushin has been finding a lot of good win rate in all the tournaments that we have witnessed, and this is one of the best, I mean, if not
my wife for a reason.
Okay, you chose the right one too, and respect that. But one thing I find funny about Noctura, it's not funny, it's effect. Pickable Predator onto the side of CRQ has been really well known for his Kadita, right? So they were like, yeah, man, we just, you know what? We just won't stick to the meta. We'll just ban away their own heroes. 27 heroes gone. CC is a meta ban, okay, that's acceptable. But the Pickable Predator's hero, that's the Kadita, also got to be removed. This is a completely respect ban. On the other hand, though, we talked about Saramon's Hayabusa, so that is something that you want to go for.
Immediate
Hayabusa
lock-in,
directly
yeah.
into the second phase. Yeah, I think it's doable. It's doable. It's safe. On the other hand, though, Array, he loved the pick-off, man. So why not go for the Kalea, the Fist Lady? And of course, if you want a Kalea, you want a burst, and the burst comes from the Lumens.
Absolutely. This is one of, I think, it is one of the very common combinations that we saw in the wildcard phase. The Kalea and the Lunox were showing up very often. Well, because Kalea has finally found her perfect partner, mainly because of the fact that Kalea really needs someone who can burst the target instantaneously. You might think the Lunox, yes, she does attack, in a DPS way. She's shooting out beams, but at the same time, those beams are very fast and really high HP based damage, to the point that you can consider it as almost a burst, right? Mainly considering the fact that this is HP based damage, so it's not gonna matter how much magic defense you stack up, you will reduce the magic scaling, but the HP based damage will be dished out to you regardless. So really good at melting this Gatot Kacha, which is gonna be one of the annoying factor, not to mention even the Zushin, of course, my wife right there. She's really annoying, not to me, to the opponents, in the sense that the Lantern Flare is going to be picking up those targets more often, but Lunox can immune one full stack butterflies, and that can push her to low mana. And at that point, Zushin becomes the most vulnerable. Lancelot or the Kalea can immediately go in for an engage at that point. But I do expect the Purified to be showing up any second. Considering the fact, though, this is the expanding river, Zushin and Lunox are perfect heroes because they do not have any dashes except for their ultimate. So this is gonna be making rotations really smooth. But let's see, what do they bring? What is gonna be happening? And just like you mentioned, I'm looking forward to those pickoffs, man.
definitely. Okay, Uranus. Oh my god, this is one of the signature for 27 as well. Wait. Oh, yeah, okay, 27. I've been saying 27. He's 27. Okay, I think
He's
that's
not
a hand
27,
then.
guys. He's 27. I'm not mocking. His name
27.
is 27. You know, he's bringing something new to the table, and I really love that. You know, he's been 27 for quite a while. You know, the fact that
Try.
maybe he wants people his name to be pronounced in one way. You know, he's like, it's not
Yeah.
27, guys. It's 27. You know, like just like how
27.
it's not Wednesday, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
He's correcting you. It's not Tuesday, it's Tuesday. So yeah, he's
Tuesday.
27. Yeah. Yeah, it's Tuesday. It's
27.
Tuesday. Yeah, so it's gonna be 27. But yeah, jokes aside,
my
his
God.
name is 27, guys, of course. But with it, Noctura is gonna be coming up with the last band from the hands of course. This Lapo can be anything, man. I'm gonna be honest, I have love-hate relationship with this meta because okay, look at that. No way in hell
God,
I
come on.
thought for 20 seasons of me playing this game that I would say one day Lapu Lapu is a flex pick.
It's a
Like
flex.
my dude is EXP
A
from like
flex.
bone to the neck, but somehow this fighter
It's a
meta
flex.
dude has become flex pick. And that's what happened. He was flex and he became the goal lane. But yeah, with it, the draft is done. This is the expanding reverse map CRQ Crux Requiem versus Noctura, ladies and gentlemen. And with it, we're going to be seeing, of course, all their spells right now in the vicinity. Oh my god, look at the flickers.
The amount of flickers that these people have, definitely amazing. Okay, I thought that Duba was definitely was supposed to be the gold laner, so it's gonna be into the room. We're not complaining, but 27, man. Did I say it right? 27. I think I said it right.
27.
27. It looks
Hmm.
like he looks like Horn, by the way. I mean, Alexander, it's a compliment. I already told him that too. But Ray, man, it's not the guy I remember. But still, it's gonna be okay because
He's more pooky
I'm
right now.
sorry.
He's more
It's- yeah,
pooky
yeah,
right now, yeah. He's
That's
very
what I was
pooky.
gonna say.
He's looking
But
very
yeah.
innocent, and I think that really fits the image of Kalia as well. So I think it's doing
Mm-hmm.
him justice. Peekaboo, though, he got the biggest glow up I've ever seen. You know, that's a really good
Wow.
thing, bro. But anyways, on the other side, Faden, I gotta thank you personally for picking up the Zushin. God damn, is
Of
she not beautiful?
course. Of
But anyways, we're gonna be going into this best of one soon, ladies and gentlemen. And reminder, this is the Swiss stages. Both of these teams are right now at the 0-0 brackets, where this means both of them are at equal point. This is where the journey starts. One team tonight is going to be going into that 1-0 bracket, and one team will go to that 0-1. And with it, that's where the journey will continue. But I'm looking forward. Kyle, known for being a beast on the marksman heroes, but
Yeah.
today he'll get the chance to come back into this fighter goal lane meta and show his prowess on a fighter goal lane.
Definitely. And Duba onto the room, yeah, that too. We got that out. But you know, the thing is, I feel like Haruka is more versed onto the Lapu Lapu rather than the Phobia. So I was thinking it was gonna be the Phobia into his hand. No, it's gonna be the Lapu Lapu into his hands. But nevertheless, like you mentioned, this is a meta. You know, there's a lot of versatility for the players as well. Let's head into the lineup. Don't, ladies and gentlemen, this is the best of one series, Switch State, the last match for today. CRQ going against Noctura.
Yep, it's gonna be a Bengal server, and if I'm not wrong, both of these teams are from the same,
Oh.
so it will give them swiftness, and that's why you see both assassins. You know, no server conflicts
Oh,
means
yeah.
assassins show up. But with it, just like we mentioned, this is gonna be the last match of tonight, as well as the last match of the 0-0 brackets. So let's see who won is a one to get it. But anyways, we're just gonna get a little bit of that item hints. Everyone has prioritized the boots. But I think since this is the expanding river, the goal laners should not get it. And Ruby is exactly trying to do that. But anyways, we should be getting the emblem set up. Look at that, Debbie.
Yep. Nothing too out of ordinary, but it's going to be a little bit down for Array right now onto this Kalia and a Vitality as well. So that is going to be a lot of heal onto the Roamer right now. But nevertheless, onto the other hand, Duba also is a chunky guy, man. Tang emblem, no change up. He's just gonna be there trying to stand to the front line and give out the damages from the behind. That is definitely necessary here. But you know, the one thing that I want to complain about the picks coming through from Noctura is that I think they might be lacking out the damage, right? Because Seramo is the only one who's going to be the main damage dealer on the mid side, though that might be a little bit of an engage, but that's going to be a clean coming through from both of the teams.
You know, they just got the level 4 right now, both of the junglers, so the power spike's already there. Let's see who's the next one to be coming up, but look at that, Turtle has been spawned, and this is, of course, gonna be where they should be trying to contend, or at least trying to get a trade, but look at that, the Lancelot already popping in here with the dashes, might be going in for something wrong, but look at Array, level 4 is gonna be secure for the EXP Lina, but here comes the Crimson Beacon, Fade and gets a kill, Alom Sanga, and with it, they're still gonna be going in for a little bit of contention, and I think Bovius comes in with the flicker combo and might be able to get a kill, but at the same time Uranus is a little bit too chunky to do anything. Turtle fight still going to be going in. Uranus coming in with the HP regen, but at the same time the back end Bovius still going in strong. 27 is gonna get taken down as the Turtle gets secured into the hands of Noctura's Serar Moon.
Oh my god, this is what you do not want to give when a Hayabusa is online, say level ranking armor. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be. Top lane, Kyle. She's executor, man. Of course, you know, I think it was more well versed on playing the Grandeur, but hey, that was actually definitely a point. Well, it was a good 1v1 that we have seen so far, but the Ruby might be actually losing out against the Lapu Lapu, so we might be seeing the Lapu Lapu more into those team fights rather than the Ruby, so it's definitely going to be good instead, but we'll see how they'll be able to win out the fight still, because for CRQ, they have a scaly hero onto the side. They have the Lunox, but Lomsanga though, he got to be careful. He cannot be too behind against the Rama, because Hayabusa versus a Lancelot, you got to be staying up to equalize also those goals and the objective as well.
Right now into the top lane, a little bit of resource exchange, but I think nothing much just yet into the table until we will see them next. Turtle fight is where the expanding rivers will take the effect and the rotations will get made right there. But so far, Noctura 042, but top lane we see some little bit of action. There's no flicker. AOG popping in and Serar Moon gets a kill. First item priority, but look at that. Array also tries to do the same with the Tsunami Slam, and looks like Duba will fall into the damage of Hikabu. And with it, first item priority also for Kyle. I think Noctura right now tries to get the lead quite much, but at the same time, side of CRQ's catching up. Executor will get that War X too.
War X, but the thing is, you know, it's okay for them. But for Noctura, still everything is again Kyle popping out those various fighters. The saddle also not landing on anyone just yet, but questionable Executor.
Okay, I think that was kind of a misstep. But anyways, we will see. The Turtle most likely gonna go uncontested on this one. 27 is trying to go for something, but it's not gonna be enough. Array goes in with the knockup as well, but the Crimson Beacon gonna be popping up. A lot of action into the mid phase, and Array will get taken down. AOG coming in as well, and looks like the damage will be a little bit too much for the Lancelot to be taken, but he does immune it out, but it's not gonna be enough. But look at the damage. Here comes Wong. Kyle takes a kill, double kill, secured. Lomsanga will fall down. But still, they're gonna be going in. Is it? No, Uranus will dodge that bonk. Last one, and with it, they go back 1-6 score.
This is so valuable for Serar Moon, man. I don't even, because Serar Moon is the star here, because he got the items first by 1k gold lead onto his hands against the jungler. Assassin versus assassin, you might want to go for those items very early on, but maybe bot lane might be something here, but 27 will not be dying with a beautiful wins. But you know what? Yeah, this is definitely a good early game for Serar Moon already. Noctura, they are doing really a good job in trying to set up for the start. Taunt coming through.
Okay, that kill gonna go into the hands of Serar Moon. Wow. Gets that mega kill 4-0, and with it, 1-7 still remaining. Really strong dominance on top of CRQ, but let's see what happens. Last turtle is gonna be coming for item priority. Oh, gets it, but look at this Lomsanga. Better watch out your positioning, and he's gonna be okay for at least for now. But anyways, okay. I think they're still trying to go for a little bit of brawl, but shout out to Adeline for mentioning Zushin. So yeah, anyways.
Intuition is always going to be mentioned, man. But to be honest, I feel like Lomsanga can really catch up to this because the fact that he's been taken down twice in a row and the turtle is twice. Oh, totally Kyle taken down with 3-man onslaught, but it's going to be traded onto the bottom lane tower. So that's exactly what Noctura is going for. But back to the point though, Lomsanga still can go for the farm because I thought that he might be very behind in comparison to Saraman, but it's still doable for him. So that is a very good news. But the top lane though, Executor might be trying to focus onto the tower here again, trying to trade it out with the turtle though. But 27, yeah, still out into the vicinity, trying to give out a little bit of a reason. But it's gonna be a trade all over the place this way, and I think this is definitely worth it.
Yep. So far, they get the third turtle as well. And right now, they're quite a bit of ahead. But look at into the top lane. Lunok just dodged it out with brilliance. And Kyle will get punished for it. But at the same time, AOG comes in at the moment you need it. And shutdown secured for Duba. And right now, Ruby's trying to fight for the life. But Executor will get executed right now. That was a good comeback spotted, but it's not gonna be enough. They're still trying to fight for it. UNS is trying to survive, but it's gonna be enough though. It is not unstoppable. Secured for Serarmon at this point, and Noctura is not stopping.
If I was a watch partier, I would say it's over, man. It's over. But I'm not. I'm a caster because we know what we're doing right now. But hey, Ray.
Yep, and the fight. Oh, Array. Okay, he might get taken down, but oh, yes, he does. Monster kill secured. The damage for Saramon might just be a little bit too much right now. Okay, a little bit of Phobius went in, but anyways, 4-11 score still remaining into the board, and Saramon on an unstoppable gonna get that legendary on that next kill.
Damn, man, that's definitely a bad sign. Everything of a goal lead is definitely into the of all of those Noctura right now. Every lane is getting all the goals that they require right there. But you know what, the thing is, CRQ, they, like, I haven't been stressing enough, but oh, interestingly, that is a Sky Piercer into the hands of Saramon. So the guy have the aura, man. You really go for the Sky Piercer on the Hayabusa unless you are kills ahead. And safe to say, this guy is already 6 kills onto the lead, so that's definitely something that he can really go for a trade out. It's also a true damage dealing potential, so that is one more point. But hey, see Halbert onto the hands of Kyle, something I don't really see when you are onto the Lapu Lapu, but AOC just for a miss.
But mid lane, here comes the I am offended at the same time. Look at the resources getting wasted. Tsunami Slam and Brilliance, Crimson, Beacon, so many resources getting thrown out. They're throwing everything. The kitchen, the sink, the house, the sofa. But at the end, what comes out into the top is gonna be the side of Noctura still winning it with the numbers as they take a 1-for-3 trade on the mid lane turret as well.
Oh my god, how can you go in onto the outer turret and get away winning out the trade only when you are 4k goal ahead and when you have a Hayabusa who eats 41k onto the leaderboard builds he already built up, and this time around it's gonna be a different scenario. Lomsanga will not be able to catch up to the levels that Saramon is already building up on the table.
Combo, look at the Lunox and gets the kill. Kyle will get punished for getting the Sky Piercer because, mate, you gotta go a little bit defensive, not so much damage. And Sky Piercer Lapu Lapu, that's very experimental, isn't it? But anyways, it looks like he's gonna be changing the items there, and yep, it's gonna be okay. Zushin, love the, obviously the Sky Piercer comes in after the glowing one, but okay, bottom lane, is it gonna be something? No, it is just gonna be them securing a few little buffs. But oh, Zushin, almost third item. Quite of a threat, but oh, look at that. Here comes the Tsunami Slam again, and they're going to be jumping on alt for the target, but this, oh my god, legendary secret for Saramon and make it a double kill. Might even go for the triple one right now because the Crimson Beacon is right there. Here's the triple kill. Might make it a Maniac on Lomsanga, and there we go. Saramon secures the first Maniac of the Swiss stages, at least for tonight, and he's going to be the highlight. He's going to show that he's back in action into the Mythic Showdown Swiss stages, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 0-0 brackets, and they're still cooking. They're gonna be taking the top lane turret as well, and the only one that's left is Executor. Are they gonna be able to make a defense, or is it gonna be a little bit too much? Let's just see. Glord defended. Mid lane, not so much. Let's see. I think they will go back for now.
Definitely, yeah. Oh my goodness, that was a very good engage coming through. Every engage that they are going for, every shadow has been landing. Even onto Array, it's a sure kill for Saramon. That is how bad the guy is. You cannot get that guy reach onto the goal and onto the items as well. So now this is putting CRQ in a very, very outward position. They cannot go out. They cannot get the farm onto Peekaboo. They cannot get a farm onto Executor as well. Even Lomsanga is actually so behind. He cannot do anything that the Lancelot does. And, honestly, the Lancelot kind of need out the items so that you'll be able to dish out the damage and have the tankiness as well. And this time around, no items, no goal onto his hands. That's definitely going to be hurting into the later part of the game as well. But the good thing is they lost just one inhibitor, so they can trade it out with a little bit of a goal onto the hands of Peekaboo still. Play for Peekaboo only him, and try to go for the setup. Even Executor under the Ruby might be the pillar here for the team fight, so he will be able to get out Ramon if push come to shove. That is the only way they will be able to come back, but it's still very, very rare.
And right now, since the fact that they don't have the long lane advantage anymore, that lane is gone. They are going to be behind on that wave control, and it's going to be affecting how they maneuver in this Lord team fight, because one person has to control those minions. Lord has spawned in, and it is going to be quite of a disaster if they lose to a minion pressure, right? So good job on Lomsanga trying to control it as much as possible. But here comes the Lord, and it's going to go uncontested. 100% Divine Glaive secured on Zushin.
Wow.
It's spelling disaster, at least by the mid lane. But yep, there goes the Lord. 6-18 score. Look at the goal advantage, Debbie. It is close to a 10,000. Lancelot trying to do something, but I think that's a kill. Shut down for Lomsanga, but at the price of Peekaboo as well. And right now, Serarmon gets a kill, just takes away, because right now he doesn't need to extend. All they gotta do is destroy that Nexus.
So Raman looks like he's playing rank, man. Bit with the Sky Piercer and the 12 kills that he have accumulated. That's definitely a bit Hayabusa we're talking about. Look at
Okay, mid lane, the fight's gonna be on. Look at the array, gets the Tsunami Slam, but at the same time, Phobius gonna be going in. The execution is gonna be there, but it's not gonna be enough. Legendary secure for Serarmon, and with it, they're still gonna be alive and well done, because look at Kyle, he will regenerate it from the minions. The Lord's still full HP. It's knocking on the doorstep. Is it gonna be enough? The lane sync is coming there, but Lancelot is not gonna be go to and take the kill, and with it, they're gonna be putting into pressure. Bot lane is gonna be exposed, and so be the mid lane. All of the inhibitors are down. Look at that, and they're falling in left and right. Legendary secret for Serarmon. Lunox trying to do something, but it's not going to be. Oh, it is. Kyle gets taken down, but is it the opportunity? Because look at the Lord. It is already locked into the base, and with it, they will get this win as Noctura moves into the 1-0 brackets in the Swiss stages.
that was a short game. So Raman, man, I think he got the MVP. Mr. Dude onto the Hayabusa, able to perform so well. The early game was that they wanted. That's why you usually don't give at the first kill. Even the lethal is gonna be so well worth for him. And of course, unfortunate for Are though, he was able to pick out the assassins, with the Kalea, but you cannot really do that when you don't have the damage for up. But they were able to find trades cost for a here and there. But Kyle is not the problem at that point. It's the Lapu Lapu. It's the Hayabusa who was the problem. Here, this dude right here, player of the match.
Of course. Serarmon with a 14-0-7 score.
Come on.
0 deaths. 0. Absolutely 0 deaths. 73,000 damage. Kill participation, 95%. This dude is basically the whole game.
He's the whole game, bro. He's doing everything at that point. And the fact that, at the start, I think I even had a thought that maybe Longsang, because he was just one level behind. But that cannot happen if you have all the kills onto his hands. But look at the fighters into the gold lane. I think it's still a very, very greedy build for both of them. But still, works well. It works, it works. So.
Is it identical? It's the same
identical,
build.
Man. Yeah, it's the same build but different heroes. Onto the other hand, though, yeah, the young dudes here. I don't think Lomsang even had the damage, right? Did he? I don't think he did.
It is decent when you have, the puncture as well as, your passive, but I think it's not enough there. Peekaboo was trying to scale up, but compared to Faden, who's basically full build, only left to basically fully cook the, Clock of Destiny. I mean, to be fair, that gem is enough for you almost.
Enough, yeah.
So yeah, I think they were quite ahead over here. Level 13 Garutkacha compared to Array's level 11. You can see the difference not in the KDA but in the experience and the damage taken and the teamfight participation. You can clearly, get to the real main point. But anyways, I think this is interesting. 27, right? Meeting Haruka again. A head-to-head comparison.
A head-to-head. And this time around, Haruka is the winner. So definitely a good. What the hell am I seeing? A Reed Sky plus the carry. It's not the gold lane, of course. The fight lane, the gold lane. I was actually complaining about the the fact that Noctura was lacking out the damages, but of course, if the Hayabusa is already this fat 940 gold per minute, that's definitely gonna be a good Hayabusa, right? They could play for the Hayabusa, and they already played for the Hayabusa. Faden, it wasn't affected at that point. It was just the utility into the mid side. Man, I love the Assassin Snowball sometimes. Lancelot versus the Hayabusa, I think it's kind of a 50-50, but it also depends on how the team works, because Assassin mainly depends on the team, and I think Noctura had the start of the game much better than CRQ, and that has to be the reason, right?
Yeah, absolutely right, Debbie. Because thank you for breaking it down again. My best analyst partner. Because you're the analyst, Sarah is the PvP. Okay, so I get it right. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, with it, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to announce something. Of course, tonight there's no giveaways, so make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow. But what we do have is we are gonna be doing a live draw on our Discord server, War Drum Games. The link is on I think the moderators will pin it down. And if you don't know, you can always follow our Instagram. The link is there as well, on our website, on our WhatsApp channels, any social media, or you can just ask any of the moderators to DM you. But anyways, make sure you join the War Drum Esports Discord server. We will do the live draw of the next phase, which is going to be the 1-0 and 0-1 teams. Which one is facing against who? It's going to be randomly done on a live spin wheel. So make sure you join that, and we'll do it on the War is Calling channel, which is basically, it's a stage. It's being hosted on a stage. So just join. You'll see a bunch of people, and you just join that one, right? So make sure you join it if you're excited to see who's facing who. There's a chance SATUL will meet someone. There's a high chance SATUL can meet Rntx as well, because both of them are on the 1-0 bracket. So, or they can also meet Noctura. They can meet all the other teams that are in the 1-0. So if you're excited for that, make sure you join our War Drum's Discord server. And with it, ladies and gentlemen, good night, take care. We'll see you at the live draws if you join, and if not, we'll see you on the next matches of the Swiss stage at the 1-0 and 0-1 brackets. Good night, take care, and be back on the Mythic Showdown Season 2.